the Neandertalk Podcast. We'll no topic is off limits. Now here's your host, my daddy, and Roy the Soul. Thank you for coming to the Neandertalk Podcast. Boom, swat, boom.
Salute, everybody.
Salute.
Look at
Cheers.
Charles, salute.
Charles.
I've got Casamigos tequila. Seraphine's drinking on.
A Syrah. It's a Flanagan.
And then Tom's got Michelob Ultra.
Michelob Ultra, true
Hell
Missouri.
yes. Well,
touch with my Missouri roots.
Ooh, that's good.
the Missouri roots. You got to get that mic close to your face. I can't hear you.
Yeah, move closer to the left.
Get close.
How's
get
that?
intimate.
You can move the
Yes.
chair if you want. There we go.
Yes.
Make yourself comfortable.
So, yeah, podcast trois for us,
3?
isn't it?
3 or 4?
Or 4? This is
Well,
second
I
time.
was
No,
on
you're
hers.
right. She was on mine. I was here. Maybe I was here twice. We were here twice. So
I can't imagine
Yeah,
I would have
3,
had
yeah.
you on 2 times.
no. Oh, thanks. Whatever. I just piggybacked on you, Tom. I was like, all right.
What'd
I
you
need to
guys
get
talk
back
about?
on. We talked about a lot of stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
we
you want to
like,
get into the real spicy topic
Oh
that
my
we got
gosh,
into?
it was we went into like transgender, and we went into sports, and we went into what else did we get into? We got into a lot of stuff.
This is going to be close to episode 200. I can't remember every single conversation I've had. It's so hard.
I just remember the sad thing is when you talk so much with someone like you and I talk together,
Right.
I feel like I blend in the conversations you and I have like off the mic. So I would be like, oh, we talk about relationships and family and kids and blah, blah, blah. But then we also talk about really fucked up shit too. So that's probably the stuff that would be, what we would talk about on the mic. But today we're talking about some fucked up shit, which is your movie.
I like
Kidding.
talking about,
I like
talking about fucked up shit that people are scared to talk about. So,
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Isn't that the whole
He does.
point of this kind of forum, pretty much?
That's what this show is
Talk about whatever.
Talk
Yeah.
about whatever. My tagline is no topic is off limits.
I love it.
Yeah.
I agree, 100%.
Well, thanks for having us on.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. Yeah, this is nice. I watched your newest movie last night,
Uh-oh.
Bravado. And that's going to be is going to be shown at the KC Film Fest.
Kansas City Film Festival.
Kansas City Film Festival.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm way off. Should have done my homework.
March 29th. Yeah.
Now, how many film festivals have you done? You've done quite a few.
My movies have been in probably 6 or 7 of them.
6 or 7. What's been your favorite film festival aside from
Before
the
we get
Kansas
started, Seraphine's like a co-host. I
jump
What do
in.
we call that? Just a special co-host today.
Yeah, and then I have to like shut up so he can.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
well,
I'll
you
sit
guys,
back and watch.
You do your thing.
So
You guys spar.
I want to know. I know,
Well,
but I
pay
want to know.
attention.
I want to know what was your favorite podcast? Your favorite
Film festival
fest.
that my movies went to or that I've been to?
that you've been. Well,
Both.
Well, the best film festival I've ever been to is probably Sundance.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty incredible. I was there in 2010. The best film festival that my movie has been at, honestly, and I'm not just saying this because it's the hometown and I'm hoping to plug KC Film Fest a little bit, but they do a really good job. It's really intimate and it's small, but they do an excellent job with it for it being as small and, it's not a major film festival.
how do they get judged?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. They have a committee. I mean, all these film festivals have committees. I know a few people on the committee, but I don't know.
Have you ever gotten like feedback like after the film from people on the committee?
No. They either
Interesting.
They either accept it or they don't. If
So
they don't accept it,
Yeah. They give you like, this film was shit.
Then somebody
Yeah.
who's from Kansas City who knows the people that run it will.
Yeah.
I actually just heard this the other day from the festival administrator. She said she got some emails from people who were upset that they didn't get in, and I was like, who the hell does that? Like who doesn't get their movie into a film festival and then calls the administrator? Why didn't you accept my movie? Like they were getting all pissed off about it, and I was like, well, you shouldn't have to arbit that. That's ridiculous.
Now
You either get chosen or you don't get chosen to be in the festival.
So I did not I've been to film festivals. I've actually participated in one, but
You were in a movie.
Oh God, I was in a local Kansas City What was it? It was like a YouTube show that was called Kill 'Em All. I don't know if you can even
I
find
thought you
it.
had a movie that was like an actual movie.
Pep Squad.
Pep Squad, that's
that
right.
one you can see on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I was Debbie the Drunk. Yeah, it's a great role. That's why he's never cast me in his film.
Have you
very
seen
serious.
it?
I would put you in one of my movies in a second. Pep Squad?
Yeah.
No, but I know of it. I don't think isn't it like out of print? It's like
No,
hard
it's
to-
actually on Amazon Prime now.
Really?
You can go watch it. Yep. Steve Balderson, the director, actually shot me it, and he was like, "Oh my God, they're revamping it." So anyway, yeah,
Is it a comedy?
They're revamping it?
yeah, like bringing it back into the mix.
Are you going to be in it again?
Oh well,
You
not
got
they're not
to.
redoing it. It's like revamping it into the system. I should clarify it.
I
Like
was
bringing
so
it back
excited.
into the.
They're doing a reissue.
No,
I thought they were going to remake it.
No, it was one of the first films ever about school shootings.
Right.
But it was a dark comedy like a Heathers. So
When was it made?
it was
When did you do
made.
that?
I did that.
90s?
God, Brandy was in that movie.
No shit.
Brandy's a singer?
I actually threw up we have a friend, my friend Brandy Halleckson.
Oh,
Girl.
I was thinking Brandy.
No. She's a friend of mine. She's blonde.
Brandy's a cheerleader.
She actually worked for
Listen, we're on a mic with people listening here. They're not caring about Brandy, your friend. We want Brandy the singer.
Well, I vomited on her. That's the fun part.
my
Is if you
God.
want to watch the movie, I vomit on her.
I actually
But
do
we'll go
want to
back.
see that.
Yeah. So let's talk about the festival, though. So how are once you have the film in the festival, why do people go to film? What's the point?
Well, the point used to be it was a platform to get your movies made, or not made, seen, and distributed. Like there were people that would put the movies into distribution who would go to these film festivals shopping for movies. I don't think that's so much the case now as it used to be.
What is it now?
Now it's more just a platform. You can get your movie seen at the film festival. It's also a great place to, network.
Oh, that makes
meet
sense.
Lots of people, because even at the Kansas City Film Festival, I was one year, 2017, when I did this movie called Eric Blair and I that they accepted. That year, I met people from Czechoslovakia and Australia and made a lot of friends and contacts that I was shocked
That's cool.
at how sort of global the Kansas City Film Festival was that particular year. And I hope that happens again. I haven't looked at the program extensively.
It seems like Kansas City's got a good little foot on a lot of different scenes. Like everybody talks about the Kansas City fashion scene here. You wouldn't really think about it, but like KC Fashion Week is a pretty big deal.
She'd know more about that than me. I don't.
And now the film festival, and I don't know, we got good music that comes through here.
Yeah.
We got good music that comes from here. I don't know. But
Yeah, and it's one of the
we got a
few-
great art scene here. We got a great art museum.
I mean, it used to be one of the few affordable cities in the United States. I don't know if that's still the case, but that's what I heard for a long time, that Kansas City was like a good place to go and raise your family because the rents were a little lower. And there's culture.
Yeah.
Blossoming culture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how extensive it is because I haven't been here very long, but
Yeah.
I've only been here 2 years, so in this stretch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the film scene, I think it needs some boosting.
What makes a film scene a film scene? Like, what do you need to be?
Supporting filmmakers, and there's not a whole lot of support for people. I mean, the Stallone Tulsa King. Did you see that? It was on the streaming services.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about
That
it.
was supposed to be shot here. It was originally about Kansas City mobsters. Well, they wouldn't give him the funding and they wouldn't give him the tax breaks, so they chased Stallone out of town, and he went and shot in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they reworked the script and called it the Tulsa Kings instead of Kansas City.
It's ridiculous. I mean, when you really think about it, I mean,
It was
and
upsetting. I
it's
was gonna
about the
work on that.
mafia.
It took
Like,
everything.
it's about the mafia. Kansas City, quintessential mafia. And they're like, no, actually, Sylvester Stallone giving people jobs here. And it just is beyond me. I don't get it.
And I, you want to get into a weird subject, but it's like I'm always trying to figure out, why do they do that? Like, it brings money into the city. It brings tourism into the city. You're shooting a big movie. I always wonder why they chase these things out of town. Like, it's like
Somebody's not getting paid. That's why.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what.
Got to
it is,
grease
yeah.
the right palms.
Somebody's not getting paid, or
It's a mob town.
Right?
What do you think? You think that stopped?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, you got
What
to
would you
grease some
think?
palms. You tell me if Stallone didn't come in and shook hands with the mayor with, a nice little voucher for whatever he wants.
Well, I know the Missouri Film Commissioner fought to have it. I think she fought pretty hard to have it done here, and then she was really upset when they,
What is
moved it to Oklahoma.
A film? Like, what is a film scene exactly? Because I just assume it's kind of like what I'm doing with my podcast. I just do it. It's my project. I do what I want, how I want. I don't necessarily need other podcasters to be a scene for me to help me out or whatever. I mean, it's nice. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But how does that? What do you need in a scene?
You just described how I made that last movie, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
and
not
how I made a lot of my movies, actually.
Is that? But you don't necessarily want it to be that way. You want there to be.
I mean, it's nice to have more money and more support
and permission to film in areas.
You have to get
and get rights to things and have people not over charge you because you're using a space or you're using some music or you want to have an interview with someone for a documentary. And
there's no precedent for it. So you go somewhere in Kansas City and you want to use a location and they're like, oh, well, we're going to charge you $1,000 insurance and all this stuff. And it's like, well, no, why? We're just going to do one scene, two people talking in and out. I have run into that.
Where? Name these places, Tom. Name them.
Oh, I don't want to get anybody one of the
Why not? They're not going to help you out. Let's know who these people are so other filmmakers can either be like, hey.
Well, a lot of it is red tape.
Help us out.
I mean, just put it this way. A lot of it is red tape. I mean, think about these areas. For instance, he's doing a documentary. And I mean, the thing that stinks is when you're going into areas that are historical, like the Jazz District, or you're going downtown, or you're going to the plaza or whatever. These are revered areas that people are trying to build up. They're trying to protect. And they're like, okay, who's this guy coming in with his independent film? And then it's like, well, if you were worth a darn, then you would pay XYZ for this and that. And, and again, if you think about some of our areas here, it's not like we're like.
But the business owners are telling you that, right? It's not necessarily like.
Well, I mean, it depends. It's all pretty case specific. I mean, I was just thinking about this restaurant that we shot in called Anton's, which is downtown.
Oh, yeah.
The steak place.
Oh, yeah. It's fine.
It was a nice location. They didn't charge us a dime. I mean, They just let us come in one night and shoot.
It's a cool little atmosphere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're welcoming. I think the hard part is there's so many beautiful and cool areas of Kansas City, but you can immediately see or feel or just dead on someone be like, here is, you are not allowed, or you get an unwelcoming vibe. And I think that's where it's hard, is when you're creative and you're wanting to, and the other thing is the lines are crossed so much now because art is readily available on the computer for free, right? And everybody needs to make money, and to create a movie takes money. Right. So I think that's,
not as much as I think some people think, but yeah, you can make a movie with very little funds.
So
you have to adjust your expectations.
So Bravado, talk to us about what it took, like what you initially thought financially, and then where I was convinced. So this film that we're talking about that's going to be at the festival, there was 32
minutes. It's a short film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a feature,
but it has I immediately thought, so he has all this animal footage in it, right?
I watched it. Yeah.
So I completely thought it was stock footage, and he was like, he looked at me, he's like, no.
I shot that. Yeah.
He shot it all, and he shot it all at the zoo. I was like, all right. Yeah,
that's why there's so many kangaroos in there. I was like, I know where this was taken.
Yeah, I shot that at the Kansas City Zoo on the sly.
Well, I know. There better not be any kangaroos anywhere else.
Yeah, I just had a zoom lens, but I mean, that's a case where you're sort of being a little bit of a bandit. You're just sharking shots, You know where you're going to use it, but I didn't tell the zoo people I'm shooting a movie. I just went and got those shots.
Do you feel like you should?
No.
Okay, me neither.
Not at all.
I mean, you're saying it like you have an issue with it.
How many times have you taken pictures with your kids there?
Never. I don't take them anywhere.
Yeah.
I chain them up.
You chain them up. They're actually in that back room right over there, right?
No, tomorrow.
Daddy, let us out.
But that's an interesting question that you ask. What makes a film scene?
Yeah.
Because it's like think that's something you really need to have a grasp on if you want to create a film scene. And sometimes I wonder how much Kansas City is like aware of that.
But like who's involved in it? Is a film scene consistent of filmmakers, directors, actors?
Well, you need
key
that,
grips,
for sure.
whatever that is.
Well,
you know?
Yeah. Well, think about when you go to like a museum, right? So not only do you have like the building, right? And you have the managers, you have the docents that take you through the museum. You have the curators that choose the art.
Docent, huh?
A docent, yeah.
First time I've ever heard that word.
Where's the dictionary?
So
I don't know this word, docent.
I actually here's the big nerd in me. I actually would love to be a
What's that
docent.
word
It's
mean,
so cool.
Lisa?
You get to learn about all the art and take people through it and be an educator. So like a Jackson Pollock or a Banksy or something like that. You learn the history. But yeah, so essentially with film, it's the same thing. I mean, you need to have your people that are behind it. So you have. I mean, you can go down the list of directors, producers, whatever.
Well, and the city needs to support it.
Yeah, the city has to support it.
The city needs to support it.
So read the definition.
What's it mean?
It means. Let's get ready here.
I like new words.
Member of the teaching staff.
A member of the teaching staff. She messed up. Hold on. This is off mic, everybody.
I love it.
Oh my God.
Are we cutting this out?
Everything
stays in.
She's got to put her readers on.
Yep.
You don't look old enough that you need
I know,
readers.
All right. Okay, docent. Noun.
Docent, noun.
In certain universities and colleges, a member of the teaching staff immediately
Member of the
below
teaching staff
professional
immediately below
a person
professional rank.
Okay.
who acts as a guide.
A person who acts as a guide on a voluntary basis. Look at that, Seraphine.
Come on, I swear.
No, you just shocked me. I've never
My
heard that. I've
husband
never
should be
heard
at the
that
table
word.
here right now. He usually Googles everything I say. He's like, "You're such a bullshitter."
I
So you like
I don't
Google
think
it.
you're a bullshitter at all.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I know you know.
No,
big
I didn't
words.
think you were bullshitting. I just never heard that word before, and I was like, ooh.
But bringing
Some
it
of
back
those
to the film
$6
community.
words right there.
But bringing it back to the film community. I know, right? No. But I know. I look like such a dick. But it is. It's like, think about it. Like, you think of Hollywood. You think of New York. These are
when
the big
am I
areas.
thinking of this?
Well, because when you're thinking about film communities, but honestly, where he came from,
don't know
which
what
is
I'm
Austin.
Atlanta is big right now.
Atlanta, yeah.
Atlanta, they're shooting a lot
Hotlanta,
of
baby.
stuff in Atlanta.
Hotlanta.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It did lots of stuff being shot there right now. And New Orleans,
Yeah, I was going to say
Louisiana.
It's because they're cheap places to film, huh?
Yeah. And they offer the tax incentives. They offer the
Right.
tax breaks, which is what Missouri won't do. Now, that comes back to,
Are you so?
a little bit of controversy
Are
as
you
to
a-
who's running things in Missouri.
Are you a big film nerd? Like, are you just like know everything about all kinds of?
Affirmative.
Should you go to college for that? No.
I don't know how to answer that anymore. Yes, absolutely. No, I've just been a movie fan since I was a kid. Yeah.
I am too, but
It's all
there's people that take it to a whole nother level. It seems like you have. You're taking it to a whole nother level of
That's me.
of knowledge and passion that you're actually making your own.
I love
Flicks.
movies. I always have to control myself though, so I don't gack out like Quentin Tarantino. You ever seen Quentin Tarantino in interviews where he just? It's like everybody's like, "What's going on with this guy?" I'm like,
Yeah, you ever
just
see
keep
him
it
talk
under
to-
control.
Oh my God!
You ever see him talk
He's
to-
like,
Yeah.
I mean, he talks so freaking intensely.
Yeah.
Watch
I mean,
it-
if
watch
you
him
talk
talk.
like that, I mean,
He's fun though. I've talked to him a couple times about movies, and there's nobody better to talk to movies about because that guy just
He
goes
nerds out.
It goes.
I love
And
it.
he knows way more than you. You may think you know something about movies.
he'll
but-
school
Everybody
you.
in this room knows more than me. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
So what I want to get back to your film because this is like the main reason we're sitting here. Why did you make it? And then what is it in? So film number what for you that you've made or short?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe 9, maybe.
Nine.
My ninth
Okay.
short that is to speak of.
And why Bravado? Why
Why
this
was
film?
it called Bravado?
First, why Bravado for the name, and then the theme of this film. I mean, I feel like is death.
That's one of the things. You know,
I had a hard time understanding it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I did get something. I was like, okay, I understand this and this, but there was a lot
I had to watch it twice.
I didn't understand. Like, I'll have to watch it again.
Yeah. It's a little ruminative, like just stream of consciousness-y, but yeah, and not a lot of dialogue in it, really.
Yeah.
Which I was amazed that you didn't. So let's rewind. So first of all, Bravado. Why did you call it Bravado?
That was a fluke. I was going to call it Solastalgia.
Yeah, where did you get this word? Did you read the book?
That's worse than dulcet.
I know, right? Docent.
Oh, but
docent.
it's such
So
a
you've
great
got
word.
docent and we're gonna have like in what is
I
that? The
forgot
notes
already. That's how
Yeah.
I thought. It's
Solastalgia is like a
Dolce and Gabbana.
It's like nostalgia, but not nostalgia.
It's being nostalgic for a home while you're in the home.
Oh, it's what you opened up with.
Yeah, we opened with a definition of it. But
That's right.
But the guy who wrote about it was writing about something called eco-anxiety. And when I started going down this rabbit hole, I just thought it was really fascinating that people have this anxiety about, getting on with their lives because they think the weather's going to be so inclement because of global warming and climate change that they should just not do anything. Just stay home, don't work, don't get out of bed.
Well, it's about the kids, Tom. It's about the kids.
It's about the kids, but it's a crippling like anxiety, I guess, and it's an actual thing. Like you can get diagnosed with it. And the more I read about it, I just was kind of fascinated by it. So that was one of the reasons.
So it was so really technically the definition is associated with the climate. It's not necessarily a metaphor. Because for me,
back when we were Neandertal people, you think we had time for that shit?
I feel like you've heard
those
this
people
a lot.
got
I feel like you've
thrown
heard
to
this
the
a lot.
wolves.
No, not at all. Not at all. But when I was watching the film, I was also, and correct me if I'm wrong, I was thinking that you were having a play on it of like
I would
literally
never
your
correct
house,
anyone.
your house and home.
Your perspective is I'm not going to tell you it's wrong.
So for me, I thought like your house and home, especially like and with the synopsis of the movie. I'm going to let you do that. To give the synopsis, if you were going to give it like 2 or 3 lines, what's the
elevator pitch?
Premise of the film?
Well, what's the IMDb? What did I put on IMDb?
It doesn't matter. What is it now?
I mean, it's basically a middle-aged guy who's going through a divorce and dealing with a teenager who has committed suicide that he teaches, and he's also reading a lot about eco-anxiety and solastalgia. So he's dealing with the possible, climate change. What are we going to do about it? That sort of thing. What can we do about it?
We don't even have to think about it anymore because Greta Thunberg's all over it.
Yeah, right.
She's
Greta
got us.
Thunberg.
Oh my God, I know, right?
Well, she takes a lot of shit, man. She's got to be a tough
Well,
girl.
she took
People
a lot
give
of
her shit all the
well,
time.
How dare you?
No, well, she took a lot of stuff because when
and what she
like,
did was kind of amazing.
yeah, and I mean, and she had a family that supported her. I think the thing that was hard was she was kind of
You guys think it's organic? That's cute.
no, her family like it was definitely
I love this already.
but she definitely did have some familial support to kind of bring her into
Yeah.
the realm. And then she was criticized. Her family was criticized because it was like, well, it's not really her doing it. It's the family telling the kid to go be this voice for the environment.
Well, she's going to be criticized anyway. You put yourself out front and center like that.
She's an actor.
You're
Well,
going to get the. You're going
She
to
knew
get
it was coming. That's why she doesn't give interviews. That's why she doesn't.
But the fact that it
Talk
took
to
a
anybody.
child, wasn't she a child?
Yeah.
The fact that it
Yeah.
took a child
Oh.
to get everybody talking about it is kind of interesting.
To talk
You said
about
it was
what?
all about the kids.
It is. Talk about what? Global warming?
It is all about
People
him.
haven't shut up about global warming since Al Gore's.
And what have we done about
what was
it?
that? What was it called? Inconvenient Truth.
Yeah.
That's where it started.
That's
yeah.
where it
Yeah.
started. People haven't shut up about it since.
I know, but the last laugh is going to be on us when in 30 years from now, we actually think that we're not going to see it, but just wait.
I don't think
there's
that
going to be
at
one
all.
day that we're going to look at each other and we're going to be like, our eyeballs are going to be melting out of our eyeballs because the sun has exploded or whatever. I don't know.
I do think there's going to be some resource shortages in our
Yeah.
lifetime for sure. Absolutely.
Well, it's already there.
What kind of resources?
Oh, come
Fuel.
on. Go from COVID to
I don't think there's gonna be a fuel shortage.
You don't?
No.
No.
Really?
Are you kidding me? You know how much is under North Dakota right now?
Well, yeah.
It's fucking everywhere.
I did read that.
It's
yeah.
everywhere.
But
and there's always a country waiting to get liberated for their oil too. So we'll never run out of oil.
That's an interesting way to put it. Liberated for their oil.
God.
Okay.
Well, that's how our government puts it. We got to go spread democracy where the oil's at.
That's exactly what's been going on.
I know.
Yeah.
They're never going to run out of that. And when they do, they're going to find it on the moon.
Or we'll hit something.
I think we are going to have a problem. It's like the reading that I've done about it. There's a few guys out there. There's a guy named James Howard Kunstler that writes a book.
I've heard of that.
Wrote a book called The Long Emergency. His stuff's really good. He's a big advocate for this, and he's done his research. But these things always come out of left field. You think it's not going to happen, and then it happens, and everybody panics. And I remember we had a gas shortage in Texas, and we got a taste of something happened with the oil fields, and so there was no gas in Austin and what have you. I mean, there were people fighting. There were lines around the gas station. I was like, this is what it's going to look like.
But that's not low oil. That was just low production. Like they stopped selling it at a certain point. There was regulations going on. I think the oil is always going to be there. And some kind of energy whatever kind of energy we need, I don't think we're ever going to run out of energy. I mean, if it is like, oh my God, we are running out of oil, then they're going to be forced to do something.
We're going to be Mad Maxing it. I'm sorry.
No, we're not.
If we're going to be in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, freaking killing each other for some oil vats, and Dr. Dre, and we're going to be
Dr. Dre.
Well, there's
California.
I'm telling you,
they're espousing nuclear energy now. That's like the big thing.
Yeah, it's clean. It's good to go. That's like the shit.
Yeah, but not without its dangers too.
That was old technology. All that shit that they have, like Fukushima and all those. That's because it was old technology. Yeah. Now they've got.
It is pretty amazing.
Now they've got technology down to where you shouldn't have to worry. At least that's what they say. Of course, they could be lying to us too. Who doesn't lie to us for profit?
The cascade of lies that we endure every day.
Yeah.
Trying to pick out the information.
I don't know. I don't worry about global warming at all. I don't think that's the thing that takes us out. I think we need to focus our energy and our brain power instead of worrying about climate. We need to worry about a giant meteor coming to us and how we deflect that bad boy and get because that's the thing. That's what's gonna happen. That will happen to us. It's happened before. It's gonna happen again.
It just happened, right?
But I want to know why.
I'm talking about a real one. I'm talking about.
You mean a big one?
Not a fake one. I love it. Not one that cock teases you.
Right.
One that just obliterates it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love one.
It's not just the tip. It's everything.
It is everything.
Boom. You are fucked.
So why didn't you do a meteor instead of like? So why did you choose?
I don't know anything about meteors.
So you chose the environment as this underlying
and that's
metaphor.
The greater threat.
And then it's interwoven.
Viruses, big threat too.
Yeah.
They're just going to keep coming.
They are going to keep coming. But I was interested in the overlying story. So when the film first starts, you are greeted with like. It's like cataclysmic. Like there's a
really
modern dancer. There's like a.
Let's dissect the movie.
But no, it is. It's like you're like I was inundated with images that I was like, okay, where is this going? And there's a lot of it's music heavy.
Yeah.
So for me, it was interesting because I've seen your films before, and some of your past films aren't heavy dialogue.
Yeah.
So I was prepared for that, but I wasn't prepared for how much music I knew and recognized. Mm-hmm. So when I sat back, I was like, okay, there's a modern dancer in this. Why didn't he have me in it? No, I'm kidding. The old woman. But
Are
then
you
I was
modern
like,
dancer?
I have.
Could you do the moves that young lady did?
I could have. But I'm also.
She was pretty good.
Go ahead, speak. No.
Yeah.
She was good. Yeah.
Talk your
was
shit.
good. She was
Talk
great.
your shit, Seraphine.
She would. No.
Can you do as good a better job than she did?
You know what? I don't know. Not anymore because I'm out of practice. The last time I actually danced was maybe 8 years ago.
But if you would have practiced for a couple weeks, you have beaten
who knows?
that?
But all I can say is, in the movie, watching her, it was cool to watch.
You need another beer?
But I wanted to know.
Yeah.
He's like, I need one more.
I only
Spice
have.
it up.
I should have brought
Will you
more.
grab
I
one?
only have one.
Look, I got
one?
whiskey and tequila here.
I may have to hit that with you because I like the way this is going.
Yeah. Yeah. His beer. and then maybe a whiskey.
So it sounds like you're telling me there was too much music in the movie. Do you think there was too much music in the movie?
No, I like the music.
You like the music?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It opened up. I was like, oh shit,
music.
Yeah. Not music. I was just like, I know this song. I like this song. I like that song in movies. It just, all right, let's go. It gets me in the mood.
That was the point of the opening.
No,
just to draw people in really
totally
quickly.
did.
Yeah.
I just wish there had been less when we got into the story of it, because the dialogue towards the end was, I mean, I hadn't.
It's going to turn into Siskel and Ebert.
Look, Seraphine,
It
I
is
know you
gonna
love.
be- I love it.
But nobody listens to this is gonna have seen this movie yet. You
Well,
can't go too. You're gonna go too inside baseball.
No, you're
Yes,
very.
spoilers.
I can't
Spoilers.
spoil it too much. But
Or
I
at
do,
all.
But I guess I want to know. Well, we've got to talk about the film to some extent, right? We got we got to talk about it a little bit.
We've talked about a lot of it.
We have. What is
Yeah.
it? So what did you think
mean-
it was about? I want to know your perspective. What did you think the film was about?
Well, that'd be a big spoiler now, wouldn't it?
You can give a generalization.
You guys nailed it. He said it pretty well.
Well,
Divorce guy going through a divorce. He's a teacher, and one of his favorite students offed herself. And he's dealing with, and he's dealing with it.
So how
dealing
did-
with a lot of shit going on. He's got like some life fucking issues all coming together at the same time.
You know, one of the things that I was thinking about when I made it was this idea of being just a white dude in 2023 and middle-aged, and the comedy of that.
Yeah.
You know? how it's kind of funny. Just right there, it's funny, right? It's just immediately funny.
I don't see the humor in it at all.
I love it.
He knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's kind of a funny time, and there's some comedy, and there's comedy in middle age, period. But I wanted it to be funnier than it was. I will say that. Like it didn't. So that's why I put that nude.
Oh, he has a
Spoiler.
nude, and spoiler alert.
That's why
there's
I
a
put
nude
that
scene.
scene in there,
Well,
'cause
there's
I
a
thought it
couple
needs
nude
more-
scenes. There's two men's asses in it that
And
actually
a boob. And a boob.
Oh, that's true. There's a boob in there too.
There's a boob.
So yeah,
There's nudity in the movie. Please watch.
yes, it's nudity in an unexpected place, which I was like, whoa, that is my friend's ass. Somewhere I never would ever expect his
Only
ass
in
to be.
Independence, huh?
Yeah.
And
that was
spoil-
a quiet day. I was worried that there was going to be like people going up and down the street while I shot that.
No,
Like, well, how the fuck am I going to explain this in Independence? He's new to that. I'm making a movie. No, you've gone nuts. We're going to take you in. Like
I love it. What time did you film that scene?
Daytime.
The nude scene.
it was right before nightfall. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
like 4:30.
Well, that's the wrong time to do it. That's when everyone's up. You should do it like right before.
Everyone's
right
pulling
after dawn.
in. You know, they're like, they just
No
got
one's
off
up
work
yet.
and they're like, oh my God. Is that
There's
no.
a naked man on top of
is that
house.
a man?
We knew somebody in this neighborhood was going to lose their shit. We didn't know it was going to be that house.
His ass is out and he is where? I won't tell you because you've got to watch the film.
Please.
Sun's out, guns out.
It's available on Vimeo. It's password protected, though, because it's at festival.
When will it be available for the general public to be able to watch?
Probably in the next 6 months.
Yep.
I submitted it to like 15 film festivals. And it's
So you have to wait till it goes
through.
through all of those?
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
so what's the
you're
pro-
supposed to.
All right, what's the process and kind of hope for you right now? So you've got them going to these festivals. It's going to be seen by all kinds of, movie nerds, if you will.
Yes.
Big name people got money that maybe want to put money into it to revamp it or make it bigger. Like what are your greatest dreams and hopes and expectations when you put a film into a film festival?
They're probably going to be underwhelming. But really, I just want people to come see it and enjoy it. I don't think it's
Sure,
going
you're an artist, of course.
Well,
That's
honestly,
the main thing you want.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
But if it
there
does,
wasn't
like,
a lot of money in it.
you hit someone sees gold in it or sees gold in you because of it and wants to hire you for a project.
Well, that's always the hope is always that somebody will see it and be like, well, if he did this with no money, what could he do with a palpable budget? Yeah. But that doesn't happen as frequently as I would have liked over the years.
Well, and
Right.
and to be
I'm sure
fair,
I'm sure it's hard like
It's
any
so
other.
difficult
Yeah.
to get money for movies. Like there
Or
are
anything.
there are major directors out there that can't get money for their films. It's just
oh my gosh,
tough
it's
right now.
insane. I mean, right now there was a film that was going to be made with Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx. It was Cameron Diaz's big comeback.
Jamie Foxx is the best.
And bottom line is that there was not enough funding for the film, and they pulled out because it was supposed to be more.
Well, those guys are pretty expensive. Cameron Diaz and
well,
Jamie Foxx.
it is, but again, it's one of those things where if
I'm not saying they're not worth it, but they're expensive.
But even in streaming now, even doing it at a lower rate, I mean, the thing that's so crazy is I think one of the last films we have seen and will see for a very long time that is at the scale of like that 1980s, 90s like blockbuster film was the Top Gun second one. Maverick, yeah. That was amazing. But again, it was all what? It was Tom Cruise and it was Scientology and it was production. It was he had supporters. There was a lot of support and you had someone who demanded that the film, I mean, it didn't, he want, like so many people wanted that film to come out on streaming like so much earlier. My poor dad, who just passed away. He was like, I swear he was like living just to see Top Gun Maverick. Me and my mom had the joke. We're like, just let it go out on streaming.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't? You have not?
Still haven't seen it.
You're fine.
Well, it makes sense. It's a good movie, though. I mean,
It's
I loved
fine.
it. I thought it was great.
I saw it in the theater. There was absolutely nothing out to watch at the time. That's why it was so good.
It's amazing.
Nothing in the theater was
remember
going
that.
on at the time.
Yeah, I mean-
Theaters were just coming back on after COVID. People were starting to get back out, and that was like the only thing.
That was part of the
Unless
strategy
you wanted
of
to
the
see,
release, too.
you
The
know,
bottom line is that no matter how much I'm the first one who
Human
will,
Centipede 8 or something.
I love art house films, but there's something so amazing about someone who can get into the blood and the veins of like the moviegoer. And it was exciting to watch it. It was great music. I had a good time. Was it the deepest film? No, but was it well done? It was amazing. And it was a beautiful, right? And all of the actors learned how to, I mean, they all learned how to fly frickin' jets. I mean, your hats have got to go off to Tom Cruise. But that being said, back to you, Mr. Tom Beaver. Why don't you go more the commercial? Like, what has been your most commercial movie?
Why don't I go the more commercial route?
I just
Money,
don't.
I
Because
think.
nobody's giving me $1 million or $20 million to make a movie.
Because your films are an acquired taste, and I have to say, for I love art house movies, I do. But he and I go toe to toe because I've watched a lot of his films because we've been friends since our 20s, and I've watched him grow as a director.
How old are you guys now?
Oh God.
34. I'm 48.
30.
I'm 48.
I'm 30.
We've known each other a long time.
We've known each other a long time.
There are art house movies. I mean, they are.
What's an art house movie? What is considered an art house movie?
It's a movie that's that's a terrible thing to say, but it's probably true. That 65-70% of the public is probably going to be like meh, but there's that 30 or 40% that's like yeah.
Why are we meh? Or
an
why is
art
the
house.
general public meh?
Probably because they don't want to put a whole lot of thought
Okay.
into the movie going experience.
And it's not
There's nothing wrong with that.
and it's not easily
Okay.
It's not
digestible.
your thing. Like
It's not easy because it's usually in metaphors. So think about music.
That's
you like
the thing.
rap. You
Can
like
I
rap,
tell you-
right? You like rap, right?
What's rap?
You like fucking R&B. You like
Music?
all that. Yes.
I'm a classical
So
Mozart.
I
kinda
want you to
Beethoven
think in
fella.
terms
That's
of
me.
like art house film when you're thinking about that genre. There are rappers that speak in metaphors and there are rappers who speak just hardcore, right? So for me, I live and breathe in metaphors. So Kid Cudi makes me cry. Like but he's not your standard dude, right? So like
It's pretty standard. He's pretty mainstream.
He is because of what? They made it into a club jam?
No,
but if
Kid
you ask
Cudi's
any-
been around. He's a legend. He's been around forever.
He is, but if you ask anyone to talk about other parts of his album other than like what? I mean,
Charles,
come on.
you want some whiskey?
I love it.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I
but
just
you know
saw
what
him
I'm
over
saying.
there looking thirsty.
Have you
But
seen
there's-
Have you seen Bill Maher's thing that he does? Are you a Bill Maher guy? Bill Maher.
Yeah, I pay attention to him.
So he does this thing now. What's it called? Where he goes.
There's an ice cube in
goes
this
into
freezer.
a lounge and they smoke marijuana and they drink and he's got Sean Penn and all these guys on. Like, I forget what it's called.
Sure.
Will you Google that, Bill Maher?
That's what this reminds me of. I watched it recently. Bill Maher.
Hotbox.
Bill Maher, when he does this thing now where he goes into this lounge and they smoke marijuana and they drink and they just get really real. They have like real conversations that they can't have on HBO Max.
Right.
It's called like In the Room or In the.
Okay, so as like a John Q. Public kind, I do like some art house movies. I'm not afraid to think. Like I like thoughtful movies that are kind of that you got to think about. But you know what?
You like David Lynch?
What has he done? That name's very familiar. What are some
Twin
of
Peaks, Blue Velvet, Wild at Heart. You're my age, right?
Charles, we fix that wall. I don't. Yeah.
happened to the wall?
I'm a little younger than you. I'm 43. I don't know those movies.
Yeah.
So what's
I know that name though.
He's an art house director.
So if you like talk to us about the weirdest like movie you watched, like you're like I liked it, but it was like, so I asked you to watch Vanilla Sky, right?
Yeah, Vanilla was.
And you didn't get through it.
No, I did. I watched the whole thing and liked it.
Oh, I thought you fell asleep on the first.
Oh, when I first put that on. No, I put movies on to go to bed sometimes.
And that one it was Tom Cruise.
And so I put that one to go to bed.
But
then I got into it, and then the next day I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to watch this. So then I watched it. I was like, oh shit, this is one I'm going to have to watch again. This is an interesting one. There's
Did you
a
like
lot
it?
of shit going on. Yep.
Okay, so now in that genre of film, because that one's still pretty mainstream. I mean, it has Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz, and it's a redo of another film that is with, well, I won't even get into that, but so it's a redo, it's a remake of an art house film.
Okay.
So my question to you is that what is like I know what Tom can kind of talk to you in terms of gauging like where you're at in art house films. Like what is like the weirdest films you've watched?
I don't.
Like, or not weirdest, like they're metaphorical. They're a little bit out there.
I don't know. I've seen all the. Oh, well, shit. This will go old school, but it was one of the first ones I saw. Probably with most art generation kids.
I literally yesterday bought a rare copy of that DVD, Kids.
Yeah.
Because that's out of print. You can't get like that anymore. I
think it's
problematic.
problematic.
No, just because I guess the interest isn't there. But it's crazy to me because that movie is so relevant. It's so amazingly relevant, even now. Like, yeah, that's that's a total art house movie.
Yeah, for
Kids,
sure.
95.
Yep. That's a good one. All right. So speaking to that,
and I've seen all the. What's that one dude?
You've seen David Lynch movies.
I know I have.
I'm sure you have.
And what's the dude that does like Moon? What's the he does with Edward Norton movies sometimes. You'll know who I'm. No. It's an art house type guy.
That's a really good movie.
What does he do? Like, and he did one with Bill Murray, the scuba. Not.
Oh yeah. You're talking about.
You're talking about Wes Anderson.
Yeah, Wes Anderson.
Yeah. Wes Anderson is still like...
He's like that rare guy that's like art house and mainstream.
Yeah.
Like he blends them.
Okay.
He's pretty popular, Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
He is.
He's like one of the strongest directors probably working right now.
Yeah.
I don't love his stuff, but I'll watch it.
I kind of feel the same way.
Okay.
I like him. I think he's great. Wonderful director. Totally
I feel like
unique,
people that...
I don't love his stuff that much either.
I feel like people that say they love him and like him are just trying to sound smart. Oh, I like Wes Anderson films.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the same people that
Do you know about that
Harold
guy?
and Maude.
Well, let me tell you, you have to be really smart
Yeah.
to understand what he's saying.
It's funny because there's definitely like film directors that like I feel like when you mention them, especially if you like a certain genre of film, people do the whole eye roll thing, like okay. And I remember the first time you and I had a conversation about film directors, you told me Terrence Malick, and Terrence Malick,
King, man, king.
He is absolutely this man.
Most people hate him.
He is the king of. We're talking not a lot of dialogue. Beautiful cinematic, like the picture behind you of the zebras with the fire in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's
his
very
shot.
Malick.
It's very Terrence Malick.
That's a custom piece I had designed just for me.
It's very nice. I noticed it immediately when I came in.
Thanks. Shout out to Braden Hopper.
I love it.
Zebra among horses.
Zebra among horses. I actually love that though. I actually did not notice that. I saw zebras. And that's the other thing that's so funny is when we talk about art house films, that's the thing I love about art house films is I just looked at that piece of art and I was like, oh, it's a bunch of zebras under a fire sky.
You guys are looking. I want to take a look at it
No,
now.
it's a really it's cool.
You should.
And I mean, it is.
That's a shot I would totally
and
work
it's
very
all
hard
horses.
to get
That's
in the
actually
movie.
really cool. And that's what I love about art house film and about what I do like about watching art house films is they don't spell out for you. This is the beginning. this is the middle or climax and this is the end. Like the thing about your film that was so frustrating for me was
She hated my movie.
She didn't know when to climax.
No, I loved it.
The thing about your movie that was so frustrating.
But this is the thing that I love
She's going hard on this movie.
I know because
she's a real critic. This one
because
I told you it was gonna get Siskel and Ebert.
because I actually really appreciate.
What would you have changed about this movie, Seraphine? What did you want him to do different?
I would never have changed a thing. It's just there was a frustration in it because there wasn't a lot of talking. And what I really loved to see was that whole scene where you're on the phone. And it was such...
Nobody's going to have to watch this movie if they've listened to this podcast.
Got the whole thing.
Well, no one's going to know what it's about.
I don't care if they describe the entire movie as long as it makes people want to see it.
Yeah. What I loved about the phone scene was it was really... there's a scene in the film where he is talking.
I leave a message.
You leave a message.
Ex-wife, yeah.
And you know those messages you can't delete. And you know those nights where you're
I don't do those messages.
You've never done a message on a phone like that?
You don't receive them or you don't give them?
Either one.
Interesting. You've never done it in your life. Never. You've never given the call that's like, I'm going to keep going.
Listen to me. I will never admit it. No.
Yeah, he's not telling the truth.
Of course not.
No. I've never been drunk dialed any ex-girlfriend and told her what the hell was going on, what I did wrong. And
of course not.
Please, and send a text message. Please don't listen to that. Please don't listen to that. Just delete it.
I love it.
I've never done that.
How many times do you think you've done it?
Probably embarrassing.
I don't know. I was thinking about Jon Favreau and Swingers. Remember that? That's where it comes from.
Oh, really?
I think.
Yeah.
That's where the zeitgeist got presented. Remember
That's
the movie
supposed
Swingers?
No, I know it's one I'm supposed to see, but I never saw that one.
He does that, and it's really gratuitous. It's a long scene.
I remember
he leaves like 100 messages on his girlfriend.
My big scene from it is from Friends, when Monica did it. And then she's calling back to change it, and then she accidentally changed like the voicemail change. Like it was on an answer machine, and she knew the code. And then she did like the code where she could change the outgoing
is Monica,
voicemail message.
Is that Lisa Kudrow?
No. Monica's
Courtney Cox.
Courtney
Cox.
So do you think I feel like that is so much more a female trait, but it's cool to see. I mean, I
drunk dialing?
No, the
drunk's drunk, male or female.
Like the outpouring of like I have vomit of the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like men just kind of pass out after a while, but women can keep fucking going.
No, I'll vomit.
You will?
I'll vomit at the mouth, yeah.
Yeah.
You know that.
I know you can.
You and I have gone,
that's right.
You and I have gone rounds.
Yeah. But it's funny. I've noticed I do it. Unfortunately, I do it sober. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. I mean, like at the beginning of this podcast, I was like, so like, argh! And in my head, my internal dialogue is like, shut up. Yeah. And even when I leave messages for people, even texting now, I have never been more in my head about like a text message or a message in my life. I remember back in the day when I would bring up that rotary dial-up phone, I'd be fucking blah, 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 blah. Even on a fucking tape, I would play out that motherfucking tape like you wouldn't believe. But now, when I can even delete it, it's crazy how much I'm in my head.
Editing? You mean editing?
Editing
myself. Did I get that right? Did I do that right?
Yeah.
Did I articulate myself?
And like, or like, if you saw me on the other end of my phone now when I have conversations with people, that's why, like, you rarely pick up now. It's always on text. And there's a few people that you talk to.
That's the point of it.
Yeah.
That's the point of that progression, is so that people
you can think it through.
Pervert communication just a little further.
Yeah.
Now I can decide to not answer the phone at all.
Right? And how much if you saw me, if you had a camera on me while I was leaving, even just like you a message, and we've been friends for years. I know I've done it with you where I'm like on the phone, I'm like, I'm talking, and in like if you saw a camera angled me, I'd be like, what am I saying? Like literally, like, shut the fuck up. Just shut up. I've never been that way. But except in the last, like, I don't know, 5 years.
Your texts aren't gratuitous.
Well, my texts aren't, but I'm gratuitous.
That's true. I'm just kidding. I'm just ribbing Seraphine.
But don't you feel that, like, being a podcast, well, just being in performance in general, like probably in your own films, do you ever watch your films and go,
that was too
much. I should have edited it. Like, I need to edit it.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And I like to have things unedited.
You always
but there
think
are times
you're
where
editing.
I don't edit I don't like to edit, so no.
Yeah.
I just.
You mean like this podcast? It's just going to
It won't be edited. It's
just
just pretend it's live.
Yeah.
It's just and like.
But the hard part is people's
That's great.
attention
It's like whoever's
spans.
going to commit to it's going to commit to
Yeah.
it. And who
Which is
isn't
amazing.
going to commit to it won't.
But it also, like with your film, like you did a short. Think about Terrence Malick. Some of his films are like how many freaking hours long? They're
He's
long.
never made a movie that was more than 3 hours. Come on.
Have more than 3 hours.
Right? But then you think about our attention spans now, and everyone makes the joke of like, well, now what do we do instead of watching TV?
Yeah.
I mean, me and Lisa, we've talked about it. I don't know how many times.
Lisa's over here off camera. You guys
she's
can
off
see her
camera. She's one of
hanging
my.
out in the
We
chair.
literally will make jokes about.
But actively listening.
Yeah,
It's like
So sick.
we're like, what happened to us? We watch TikTok for TV now. So then I think about film and I think about podcasts, and it's like everybody wants a blip.
I got a rollie that don't TikTok.
Yeah.
But for real though.
But it is, right?
Yeah, but that's what they did. They took the format and they split it back up into a serial thing, which was around in the 20s and 30s.
It's for my hip hop friends.
It's like serial, episodic, television watching, but that's nothing new.
Yeah.
That's super old. That's been around forever. But I don't think anybody can concentrate on a 3-hour movie anymore. It drives them crazy.
So I have a question for
But
you
that's
too.
sad.
I'm
Because 3-hour movies are amazing.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm
you can't settle down for a 3-hour movie, but you could watch a whole series. You could watch Ozarks, like a whole 8 of them in a row.
That's right. And that's 9, whatever, however many hours.
Breaking Bad, give it to me.
Oh, I love Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
What's the last thing that you
like
watched
Better Call
that
Saul?
was like a marathon where you're like,
pretty
God
good.
damn, I watched that.
It's no Breaking
You had the
Bad.
patience for it.
That thing where that actress played Elizabeth Holmes.
Just let them talk. Let's start our own podcast.
I burned through that.
Talk about Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. The
thing
oh
about
gosh,
Elizabeth
what?
Holmes.
Gosh, I forgot that. The
Amanda Seyfried played
yeah.
her.
God,
and
on
she was
Hulu.
amazing.
I can't even think of it now. The name of the title it was like the something.
Yeah.
What's the last thing you watched that was like a marathon? Like you just sat through it for hours,
Ooh.
or you participated in it for hours? Probably a poker game.
That doesn't count. Participated in, or I'm really
Just
into,
both. Just like what?
well,
what
I'm really
game-
into tantric sex, so let me tell you. I watch a lot of YouTube stuff. I think the last thing I binged there's a show, and then I caught up on it now on Hulu, Next Level Chef with Gordon Ramsay. And they've got the first floor, second floor, and third floor are all kitchens. The first floor is like a shitty ass kitchen with shitty pans and shitty equipment. The second floor is like pretty decent stuff, and then the third floor is like all the dopest shit you could ever want, everything you need. And then the platform comes down, and they have 1 minute. Like it'll go to the top floor first, and it has filet mignon, lobster, all the kinds of meats from the high end to the low end, and there's 5 or 6 of them on a team. They all rush and have a minute to get what they want, and then whatever's left over goes to the second floor. So it's not as good of the quality ingredients, and then all those chefs get what's that, and then when it goes to the bottom floor where all the shitty equipment, all the shitty everything is, and then they have all the shittiest ingredients to pick from too, like ground burger,
cinnamon,
chicken, chicken strips, and they have to make, and then they judge all the dishes, and your goal is to get to the top floor and kick the other teams off, and every week someone gets voted off. Well, it's reality
Now, do you
cooking.
cook?
It's Gordon Ramsay. I love Gordon.
Do you
love
cook?
Gordon Ramsay.
So you like Gordon? Do
yeah.
you like to cook?
Oh yeah.
All right, I love that.
Does Gordon Ramsay have something at the Harris Casino? Or there's
Yes.
Somebody just
Gordon
mentioned this to me
Ramsay
It's
recently.
actually really good.
Is it?
And it's
I need to
one
go
of those
check it out.
restaurants that you will totally
More plugs for
not go
Kansas
to.
City.
You won't go to unless you want to gamble because you're like, oh, it's out there. It's a little too
Invite
far.
me. I like to gamble.
It's
Everybody out there listening, slide in these DMs.
And be like, yo,
Say you
yo,
want to
yo.
come gamble, throw some
What's up?
craps with me. Spin the roulette wheel. I love me some roulette.
I
Hit
want to
me
go
up.
to that restaurant for sure.
And let's go to Gordon Ramsay Steakhouse on you.
Let's do it. Were you looking at me when you said that?
No, whoever slides in my DMs and wants to take me.
I love that. Oh my God. So,
And Secession.
Secession.
Secession is something that
Succession
I
is like-
burned
yeah.
through quickly.
So
I've heard
good.
of that, but I don't know it.
Oh, it's so good.
It's
I need to
really.
check that one out.
Yeah.
Good one.
Season
Okay.
4. I'm like, don't end it. Why? Like all those shows
You got in good shows though. Just like
you do. I just wanted it like
Always Sunny in Philadelphia is
Yeah.
my show with like dirt bags. I love it. Nothing makes me laugh harder than that show.
I worked on that show.
You did?
So, yeah.
How so?
I did extra work on that show.
What do you mean?
Background.
Cool.
I'm gonna remember that. The way you said "cool."
That
because
is.
no one else would react.
Oh, that's
So I told
cool,
him I did
man.
extra work on it.
this is the
It's a good show.
So
though.
he
That's a great show.
So he acted for a very long. He still acts, but like it's funny when you ask him about like what movies he's been on and who he's been.
I went through the vouchers recently, and I was like, my God, I forgot I did that, and then
Any
all that
speaking or
background.
mainly extra?
I got cut out of a lot of movies, bit
that
parts.
happens. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the Screen Actors Guild, but I did extra work for years, for like 5 years, and I did photo double and stand-in work too.
And that's insane because you're literally.
What could we see you in? Is there anything we could see you
Big
in?
movies.
Anything.
Well, you can see me in a lot independent stuff. but
Well,
The big
the stuff
movies.
like I can go on Netflix or
Nothing-
Prime or Hulu or something and be like,
well, there's
put the movie in and see you in the background if it's just your handsome face back there smiling or something,
nothing really. There's a movie called Soul Survivors that you see me in for a minute with Wes Bentley and Eliza Dushku.
Ooh.
Eliza Dushku.
You're like, hello there.
Certified banger.
You're like, I
Eliza
remember Faith, Buffy the Vampire Slayer's
Yeah.
sidekick.
I got cut out of a Clint Eastwood movie too.
Which one?
Which was really annoying. Changeling.
What's that?
That's the one with Angelina
Exactly.
Jolie.
It's like the one Clint Eastwood movie that nobody knows that
Yeah.
he did with Angelina Jolie.
How have I not? I love both of them. How have I never heard of this?
You've never seen Changeling.
never even heard of it.
It's really well. He's not. Clint Eastwood isn't in it.
Oh, he
directs
directed
it.
Directed it,
Okay.
So that's why you didn't see it.
Yeah.
And it was purely like it, and it's a period piece.
I
and it's
grew
from
up
the 90s. Yeah.
loving his westerns. Like
I
I
mean,
loved them.
I don't trust a guy who doesn't love Clint Eastwood westerns. Yeah. It's good stuff.
Love Clint Eastwood. I got it to
And
a
he's
point where
amazing to
I wanted to
watch.
get that poncho that he always wears. I was like, when I went to Mexico and I was like 16. I was looking everywhere for that poncho. I was like, I gotta have that thing.
He's the coolest guy. Like to watch him direct.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Like he plays jazz on the set and just like literally is just like snapping his fingers in between takes, listening to. He's just the coolest
What a
guy.
legend.
John Cusack calls him the Jazz Buddha, and that's like a perfect description of him based on what I saw when I worked on those movies.
How much longer we got with him? He's up there.
You
I
know
don't
what?
want to see that guy go.
I just saw something the other day that nobody's seen him in like 300 or 400 days. Something on the internet, like nobody's had any interaction with Clint Eastwood for 300 or 400 days. They think he's in the hospital and he might be going down.
That was
Oh,
like
no.
but that's
Which is
also
depressing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Really
I hate to
depressing.
say it, but we got to get prepared
Yeah,
because
Google 'em, Lisa.
I mean, Jack Nicholson
Find
is
this
another
out for
one.
us.
Nicholson, Gene Hackman was just spotted the other day,
Yeah.
93 years old in New Mexico. But he was like out pumping gas and getting a burger, and he looked okay to me. And
Gene Hackman. Oh, he's a classic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hoosiers, Unforgiven.
Yeah.
He was in Unforgiven.
Yeah,
the
Clint
movie.
Eastwood. Yeah.
I mean, we've lost a lot of titans. I mean, in the last couple years, where I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I mean, like, God, I mean, like,
And
Godfather.
then some of them just keep going on living, and
Yeah.
you're like, how are they doing that?
How do you do it? But the Godfather cast is starting to go down little by little.
Right.
I mean, it's just kind of
Except
crazy.
for Pacino.
Pacino's still going. Yeah. And Diane Keaton's still going, but
Diane Keaton.
this last year.
Oh my gosh, I saw Bruce Willis's birthday the other day, and he's got early dementia shit. It's so sad. It's like, dude, that's fucking Die Hard.
Yeah.
I hate watching Bruce Willis go down. Because he's like still looks. He could look good, but he doesn't. He looks like an old dude. That's not the guy. I can kick Bruce Willis's ass now.
Right.
How about that, Bruce Willis?
Oh.
I can kick your ass now. He could kick my ass forever, but not now.
But isn't it weird?
And it's sad. I
but
want him
it's
to be able to
so
kick
weird
my
to look
ass.
at your heroes and watch them. I mean, and again, as I revert back to your movie.
All right, I'm cutting her mic
Okay,
off.
by me.
But seriously, what do you
cut
think
her
about
mic off.
like I don't know. I mean, this is the first time in my life that I have been upfront with so many things. I've always been cavalier about life and death and all of that. But like now death and like I'm in that age range now where like people are going around me.
Yeah.
And it's like, and when I'm watching films and I'm watching art or I'm listening to music, my sensitivity chip with my own mortality, it's like it's pinging. It's almost like I can feel it more. And it's obviously because, you know.
And it starts to inform everything you do.
God, yes.
In a way that it didn't when you were younger.
And didn't you like, don't you like give shit to your parents or like I do? I used to give it all the time to my parents and my grandparents or like just like anyone who's like the baby boomers where like all you do is talk about who has cancer, who's dying, who's this, who's that. And now I find myself having conversations just like with you.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I are like he lost.
Well, we
his
both just lost our fathers. So.
And he lost his aunt today.
Damn.
No, it's tough.
Well, technically she's not gone yet.
But
they might take her off life support tomorrow too. Yeah. So.
It's tough. It's tough.
Shout out to Aunt Sharon.
Aunt Sharon all the way. But seriously, and then when you look at your art and what you make, you know, I think that's why this film Bravado resonated with me a lot more.
Did you get that from it? That there's a little bit of death theme?
Oh yeah,
running through
I
it?
got that.
Yeah, I mean the teen suicide thing's pretty obvious,
right?
Yeah.
But
I don't have a lot of experience with death in my life. I guess thankfully.
Yeah, you're lucky.
But I know when it does come, I don't know that I'm going to handle it that well. You know, when I have handled it with my grandpa and grandma, but I love them, of course. I love them, but like,
but they're also
that's like your grandpa and grandma. Like, all right, they're up there.
You're expecting it.
You're not expecting it, but you're certainly not surprised.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But yeah, so I've never. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to have to deal with it.
No, we
no, of course not.
No, we actually talked about it the last time we
not
were
looking forward to that.
It was not on mic,
awful.
but like I was talking to him about my dad, and his mom was coming in town to visit you. Your mom was coming in town to visit you, and it's just.
Oh, I remember her.
It's just when you it's just
she did
something.
Okay.
You know, your mom did all right, right? But it is.
Don't ask me.
It's just a weird thing. You think you know what you're gonna feel. And I think when I was watching your movie, what I did.
You watched my movie? How did you find it? It's very hard to find. Oh,
your movie. Oh, now back to Tom.
All right, mine's very. Yeah,
but when I was watching your movie, I really what I liked was you had not only did you have the literal death, like you have a death explained, but you really paired it with the death of a marriage. And then you had it almost of a death of a time period of someone's life.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and then also the metaphor of.
You keep cutting to the Native American photos too.
Well, and this was
death everywhere.
There
it's
is.
Just like, it's like the whole culture is built on it.
Yeah. Well, and I also think with what was the word again? How do you say it?
Nostalgia.
So that's where I'm going to go back to the death of like when it's about the earth. I actually think about the death of a home, of like you're living in your home.
That's right.
And it's not your home anymore.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, ghost towns, ghost houses,
and
or
not
like
not feeling welcome someplace where you think you should feel welcome.
Yeah, and you did that really well with the marriage. Like there's scenes of a divorce in it that I was like, those were really like I wanted more. Like that's the only thing I wanted more of because your acting was.
Well, we shot that stuff remotely. I was never with her.
That's so crazy.
She
I thought
shot
that,
her footage
and
in
she
New
sent
York, and then she sent it to me.
Oh, very Postal Service. You know that band,
Yeah,
the Postal Service? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
very Postal Service. I send you my like little beat, and then you send me your vocals, and yeah.
So we made a movie during the pandemic called Blue Horizon, and that's how we did it. We had to shoot some, I'm saying lines, you shoot it somewhere else. I pair that footage and edit it, and people can't tell that we were in different spots. But I got in the habit of doing that during the pandemic. It worked. I was surprised. Yeah. I was like, "This works. You can do this." So we tried it again with Bravado. Yeah.
Do you have a head full of ideas for new movies? Like, do you always have the next one ready to go?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And are you ready to start another one? Are you in the process of making, like, does that ever stop? Are you ever not making a movie?
Lisa told me she was going to give me $1.5 million to fund my next movie. So.
You got that kind of cash?
I was like, you're getting breast implants.
Yep.
And let me help you make your movie.
No, I've always got a movie that I want to make. It's just you got to get your hands on the money, or you got to do it like I did Bravado and just adjust things a little bit.
I think it looked good. I think it looks
Thank you.
quality.
That's important.
You did all the editing?
I did everything.
Are you using Adobe? Like, what are you using to
Adobe
edit?
Premiere, yeah.
Yeah.
Adobe Premiere, yeah. That's what I edit.
Yeah. And then a pretty decent camera, I suppose.
Yeah, well, we shot in 4K, but not all of it. Some of the footage.
I mean, it's not an iPhone. It's like a legit nice
No, it's a
DSLR or whatever they call that.
Canon DSLR 4K, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, they talk about shooting stuff in 8K now. You've probably heard about this.
No, I don't.
I'm like, yeah. I was reading that the eye can't discern the difference. You know, I mean, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. It's like you watch these things, and it's like you want to feel like they're coming out of the television into your fucking living room. How real do you
I want the
this
metaverse.
to be?
I want the metaverse.
That is what I want.
It's like just a movie, man. It's just a movie.
Oh, that's crazy.
Or a TV show.
Well, so the date that your film is showing is the
March 29th.
March 29th.
When is that?
What day?
Yeah.
So it would be Wednesday, right?
Oh,
Monday,
it's a Wednesday.
Yeah. And
Can anybody go to that?
See, this is the thing. They're showing it at Ward Parkway, and you've got Creed and some other major blockbuster that's playing there.
Damn,
John Wick.
John Wick.
The new John Wick movie.
There's another John Wick?
Oh, I can't wait.
So they can't show it on the weekend.
Stories about Keanu. That's for another podcast.
Like, I'm not gay, but Keanu.
Oh, I know. I tried 3 times.
It's true.
Didn't work.
He gets better as he gets older.
Oh,
It's
he's
true.
so and he's
I like him a lot more now that he's getting older.
He is, and he gives zero fucks. He really does.
He's Bill and Ted.
I give 0 fucks too, but people call me an asshole for that. Maybe
Yeah,
I gotta
but you
grow
know
my
what?
hair out.
But you know what? He's like your quintessential gentleman. That's like,
What are you calling me?
Well,
How dare
you are a self-proclaimed Neanderthal.
You don't know that about him, though.
Shut the front door.
Keanu Reeves?
Keanu
Like,
Reeves is
he
a
might
gentleman.
be a psycho in real life if you meet him.
He's a
You don't
gentleman.
know
I've
that.
met him 3 times. I threw myself at him 3 times, but I also know, and he denied it. Oh, that's the pain. But anyway,
But he's married or something, right? Or has
he's
a
got a very serious girlfriend.
Do you know how many hot women throw themselves at that guy
Of course.
on a regular basis?
Of course. I watch every TikTok of a girl being like, "Oh my God, I'm with Keanu. He's the best guy." But he is a good guy in terms of he's very generous.
Yeah, I know he gives a lot to charity.
When it comes to work, and that's all I care about is if people if their workplace and then the people around them that are good friends speak highly of them, then I'm pretty much assuming they're not a dick.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my God.
he's just not known as a dick.
I've met so many of them, and a lot of them are.
He might be weird, but he's not a dick.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
shouldn't be bad mouthing people
Don't-
that I want to get work from.
Yeah,
in the future.
Keanu. Yeah. Remember me 3 times? No,
I love Keanu Reeves. I think he's
Denied.
great.
Yeah.
Would you ever do a movie? Are the movies you want to do or think about? Are they originals? Like, this is my idea, my plot, or are there any like movies you would like to remake or reimagine, or are there books that you would like to turn into a movie?
Yeah, lots of stuff. Yeah.
What are you reading now?
Lots of Orwell.
Oh yeah.
I want to do a biopic about Orwell, but that's going to take quite a bit of money and some rights. You got a lot of rights issues.
Why
but
Orwell?
I think I really can't get into this. This is going to get crazy.
But you can't.
Why Orwell?
The thing is,
go.
but you can't do it
Orwell-
Terrence Malick style. Sorry,
No, I
not
wouldn't.
with Orwell.
I wouldn't. No.
You gotta have dialogue and not a
Who
lot
the
of music.
fuck is Terrence Malick, anyways?
We are gonna make you watch. We are gonna sit him down, and we'll have to chain him to the chair because after like 15 minutes,
Now we're
he's
talking
gonna
about
be
a
like,
good time.
I like this. I like this man, but I promise you, he's not going to like Terrence Malick
No.
movies. That's not
No.
the feeling I'm getting. Maybe The Thin Red Line. Have you seen the Thin
Oh
Red
yeah,
Line?
I used to own. I own that movie.
That's
yeah.
Malick.
Oh,
That's Malick. Yeah.
yeah, I'm into
You
that.
own the Thin Red Line.
On DVD, but I have no way to watch it anymore.
I was like,
I don't have a DVD
All right.
player anymore.
I love it. Well, again.
That's one of his more accessible. That's just a war movie.
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah. And I remember not loving it.
but you own. I love that he owns it though. Oh God, that's so funny.
I was like, it could have been better. I was expecting more because that was at a time where a lot of movies were coming out. Like war movies were coming out. I was like, oh shit!
This is the same year as Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought so.
And you went to the Blockbuster bin, and there was 3 for $9.99, and you're like, well, you know what? I'm gonna get this movie, and he didn't. Did you watch it?
Of course.
And
I've probably watched it multiple times.
And you don't like it.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I didn't love it.
I gotcha. Okay.
I was like, I think I probably went back hoping it was better than it. Because you look at the cast. Yeah. From what I remember, it's got a dope cast.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in probably 20-something years, but I remember when I did, when I
98, yeah.
remember
98.
I would have saw it.
I know, it's crazy.
I was like, this could have been better.
My headphones are coming off my head right now because I have to breathe. 98?
Yeah, I'd like to come back to, if we can.
Your movie?
No. What I said earlier about art house movies are movies that are particularly enjoyed by people who like to put a lot of thought into what they're watching. I don't think that's necessarily true. Okay. That's a bad definition of it.
Okay.
I don't think that's...
Because there's some
big
movies that you got to think about.
I just think they're films that are like metaphorical or kind of... A lot of them are vague, and some of them are like so in your face that you're like... What they are is they make you either think, or they're penetrating, or they're not commercial. There's nothing like pop culture about it.
That's one definition.
And
they're
if it's pop culture,
not commercial.
And if it's
usually,
and
if
commercial. If it is pop culture, it's usually like an ironic, like tongue-in-cheek, like roll of the eye of pop culture. Yeah. It's definitely not anything.
I feel like
Natural Born Killers. Like Natural Born Killers is an art movie.
Oh, really?
But that movie pretty much crossed over and has.
First time I ever did acid was the first time I ever saw Natural Born Killers.
No way.
It's a great way to watch that movie.
You're telling me.
I've never done I've never done acid in my life. What is acid like?
Intense.
Well, I'm on it now. So.
Intense and long.
I dropped a few.
But fun.
How long is it for?
You better at least schedule at least 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then acid, like what does your vision, is it impaired?
Your vision, I wouldn't say impaired.
I would love to see you on acid. That would
my
God. But if you stare at a poster long enough, you're gonna get fucking sucked into that thing.
But is it like shrooms though?
No.
Okay.
No, it's
I
would
more
say
intense.
It's harsher. Yeah, way harsher.
And it's on a tab, right? You place it on your tongue.
There's different forms and different ways. There's gel tabs. There's liquid. And then there's the blotter.
What did you do? The blotter?
Yes, I've done it all.
Oh, interesting.
I injected it into my scrotum.
I love it. I
Dropped it in my eyeballs.
Oh my God. I don't know. I just feel like acid is one of those things that had always
It's a young man's game.
But yeah.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like age overnight after you do it?
No, it's just rough. It's rough. It's rough on a middle-aged guy.
Yeah. Natural Born Killers. I don't know if I could watch that on acid.
I think a better word for like the art house would maybe be budget. Because I feel like when they call it art house films, they're really just budget movies. They just seem like...
You mean on a limited budget movies? Yeah.
They're not... It's not like...
That's true. Most of them are, yeah.
You could probably put the same story and just hire bigger named actors and actresses and maybe...
Mm-hmm. And they do that
CGI.
sometimes.
And then it's like, well, that's like, a big badass movie, but if it had
what's
$1
the
million
difference?
less movie, it'd be like an art house film.
What's the difference between independent films and art house films?
Very little, I would say. Yeah.
So it's just basically like the same name, you think?
Pretty much. I mean...
Yeah.
For your next, when you do a lot of movies, are you...
He wants to do a snuff film next.
No, I don't.
No,
also,
another country.
Also, nobody, people have been talking about independent films forever, but nobody ever really makes an independent film. It depends on what your definition of independent is. Like, there's...
So your movie...
If you do everything yourself,
to me,
then it's an independent film.
I mean, I don't mean to be...
Independence budget, another word for independence budget also.
It's not an independent film if some guy is
you call your own shots.
$100,000 into it and wants you to cast his girlfriend.
I'm sorry. I love when Miramax was like... They were like
too.
arty films. Miramax was never arty films.
Yeah.
They did unconventional.
We're touching on Harvey territory.
Well, but and again
Harvey. Miramax.
Let's just extract him out of it, even though I don't even want to go there because I will. This will be a 5-hour podcast if you get me on that.
I won't.
But Miramax, they did some really cool unconventional stories. I loved Miramax in the beginning, and then I don't. Yeah. What's the last Miramax film that was done?
Good Will Hunting. I was about to ask honestly, was Good Will Hunting under Miramax?
I don't know.
Was that the last one?
No.
Can you look at? Can you
That was a
Google?
Miramax film.
Can you Google what was the
Lisa
last?
is our official Googler.
Can you Google
for this
last?
episode.
First, look up last Miramax film, and then look up if Good Will Hunting was a Miramax film.
I'm sure they do a lot silver screen stuff.
And see if Harvey Weinstein's still getting residuals
Oh my God! Right.
while in jail or wherever the fuck he is.
Yeah, I'm about to say he should.
He's still in jail.
Is he in jail still?
Oh, he's.
I don't know where else he
he's
would
done.
be. Dead, but he's still alive. He's alive in jail.
Yeah.
Did he catch COVID in there?
He's catching something in there.
But didn't they say he
is
had
definitely not a hitter. He is a catcher.
No, he's not. He can afford to be a hitter.
Are you kidding me? That man is. Have you seen him lately? He looks
You know how
like
much
he has
money
been
he's
beaten
got? You
down.
think that money don't play in prison? That dude's got all the preferential treatment he could
He
get.
might be getting the Al Capone treatment.
Oh yeah, he's
You
got
think
his own.
so?
I
oh,
hope not.
Yeah.
But he might be.
Oh, he's living the best life you can live in a prison.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Come
Really?
on. Yeah, of course.
Rose McGowan goes to visit him in prison. That's terrible. I can't believe I said that. Just cut it out.
Cut that.
Just cut it out.
Oh my God. She would no. If they let her in, she would She would gut him.
She'd be like Tom Beaver.
I hope she does visit him so she can slit his. Yeah, I love Rose McGowan. She's
nuts.
I love her.
Oh my gosh.
I love the nutso, and I love her vocal. Again, without a Rose McGowan,
Did
you
you
didn't
see
get.
that YouTube where she's
Yeah,
at Barnes and Noble and she's like,
I think I would be too if I were her. And you know what? I have had my moments, and it just wasn't caught on tape.
Tom, what was
And
your?
you've had your freaking moments, naked man.
Yeah, Tom.
And
what-
you actually filmed yourself do
Seraphine,
it.
can I ask Tom
so
a
thank you very
question?
much. Yes,
What does
you
that
can.
on my
have to do with
podcast?
Yes.
what?
What was the first movie when it hooked you? When you're like, oh my gosh, this is my passion. I love movies. I can't. This is my passion.
The Untouchables. 1987.
Which one was
Brian
that?
De Palma.
The last Miramax movie, it looks like it was The Tempest.
The Tempest was the last Miramax.
Oh yeah.
movie. The
Shakespeare
Untouchables.
adaptation.
That sounds familiar.
Robert De Niro played Al Capone. Kevin Costner, Sean Connery. I know you saw this one.
Was it like a blue case, kind of dark blue and black?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You're picturing the VHS.
Yeah. Untouchables. What was it about it that was like? I love this. This is my jam.
Everything was clicking with that movie. You had David Mamet writing the script. You had Ennio Morricone doing the score. Guy who did the old Clint Eastwood spaghetti western.
Yeah.
And Brian De Palma directed it. Sean Connery won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor.
Wow.
De Niro was Al Capone. Like, it's just, I don't know. I was 14.
Wow.
So when you see
That's
him,
kind of an old,
It
like,
is, yeah.
mature movie
You
for
were-
a 14-year-old.
oh my.
I'm just saying for you to have grasped it and gotten into it and for it to like just strike your chord. you
Well, I
know?
was just talking about this with my sister recently. She took me to see Scarface when I was 9.
Oh, I got a 9-year-old son. I could not show him Scarface.
Isn't that so funny?
I
I had
would not-
wonderful parents, but they didn't have any qualms about taking me to see those movies.
My mom
never occurred to them.
My
that it
mom
would
wouldn't let me see Gremlins.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
By the way,
true.
Charles was right.
Those things are fucking scary.
Good Will Hunting was a Miramax film.
Yes, it was.
Yep.
No, I know. Yeah.
He was dead on.
One of my
with that.
favorite movies, I think, Miramax was
96 or 97?
at least it was a Weinstein, Rounders.
Rounders.
98 Rounders.
Love
Good
Rounders.
movie.
Love
That's
that
kind of an
movie.
art film. That's kind of an art.
Okay.
A little bit. I would say.
Koppelman, Brian Koppelman.
The director.
Yeah,
I think it was John Dahl.
maybe he's the writer. I think he's.
He might have wrote it.
Okay.
That's a gambling movie.
That's when
Poker movie.
Yeah,
Oh
right.
yeah. I was like, yeah, I know that.
Have you seen The Gambler with James Caan, 1974?
No,
If you have
he just
to
died, and I love James
You
Caan.
have to see that if you're a gambling guy. Like,
Okay.
You have
He
to
sang
watch it.
to me.
James Caan.
James Caan. Seraphine, you've got a crazy ass life. Tell like
You
you've
had
run
me
and
thrown off camera.
You've had so many stories of all these L.A. run-ins, Hollywood type run-ins, like, and then here you are in Kansas City.
I know.
You're the love of your former life was fucking what's his name? How does that even happen? What was his name? Steve from Blue's Clues?
Oh my gosh, Steve. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That. Well. Yeah. Yeah.
How does that happen?
It's called Living in New York.
New York. Blue's Clues was a New York show.
He was in New York,
I gotta move to New York.
Jimmy Kahn, Jimmy.
I want to talk about Blue's Clues.
I know you do.
Blue's Clues.
But no, I got to sing. I have a friend who was a talent manager.
You guys are getting me drunk now.
I can tell. He
yet.
sang to me on a film set. He sang to me, and he found out my name, and he was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was with my friend, and I lied. I was her assistant, and the reason why we were at this film set was because Keanu Reeves was on the film set. But James Caan was in the movie with Keanu Reeves, and Keanu Reeves would not even give me a side look. But James Caan was like,
of course he was.
Well, yeah, he's 30 years older than.
He was one of Marty's clients when I worked at the law firm.
He was,
and he likes women.
Yeah, and he's charming.
There's my favorite TV show of all time. He was in that Vegas show, Las Vegas.
Oh, that's right.
I worked
on
that many times.
Are you kidding me?
Times.
Oh my God! That is my favorite show of all time. I'm not kidding me. You can't.
The Gambler.
Stop.
You gotta know
you can't
where
find
to
it.
Hold him.
That's where James.
You can't find it, and you can't find
Vegas.
it anymore.
Oh, no way.
You can't find it. It's not streamable anywhere. You can maybe find it on like eBay for a lot of money for like DVDs. And I don't have a fucking DVD player. I guess I would buy one for that.
Wait, that's not on any streaming services?
No.
Vegas?
It's
Wasn't
done.
it a USA
and then,
show?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And then there was like during the writer's strike.
Yeah.
They stopped on a fucking cliffhanger of all cliffhangers. And like they just stopped and they never brought the show back. What's going to happen? Is the baby dead? Like, is it alive? Like,
now I have to.
Like,
I love
what's
it.
going on with Molly?
Now I've got to watch the show. Wasn't Vanessa Marcel like Brian Austin Green's wife on that show?
Yeah, and Josh, what's his name? Josh
Duhamel. Duhamel, whatever his name is.
That's how it looks.
Molly Sims, James Caan.
Oh my gosh, that had like a lot of like at that time very beautiful people.
Oh my God, the most beautiful.
Yeah.
I had a crush on all of them during that running of that
He's
show.
like James Caan was my jam.
No.
Yeah.
The female cast.
I'm sure.
That show paid my rent one year.
How were you involved with that?
I was on it constantly.
Are you
I was like
kidding me?
a revolving extra on that show.
Are you kidding me? Okay, so here's my next question. Do you have access to how can I get that? Do you have it anywhere? Do you have access to get the DVDs?
Well, here's the difference.
Whatever, like
I wasn't a fan of it, so
why not?
I don't.
He's like, I want no record of that work.
I just worked on it and made money. on it.
So were you like when you were an extra? Were you
I don't
constantly?
know if I've ever seen an episode.
Were you constantly gambling on the show? Were you just in the background like throwing cards down?
Gambling.
I love that show.
That was his job.
A bank teller.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
A gambler.
Yeah, do you know people that know somebody that can find that? Come on. I've never asked a favor for anybody on this podcast.
I wish I could help you.
How about, does he look like someone he could be a stand-in for?
How about a main lead? I'm not a fucking stand-in.
That's the thing is you can make. You would be a great stand-in because
remember earlier when I told you I was a stand-in in photo double and you were like, "That's so cool."
Yeah. Now he's like, now I'm a main actor.
You're like,
right?
I would never fucking do that.
I wouldn't do it, but it's cool for you.
I love it. I love it.
There you go.
I have an IMDb.
He's like,
Google me,
the Brad
baby.
Pitt bitch. I love it.
Yeah.
I've never even seen.
I'm
that.
Keanu Reeves with shorter hair and a widow's peak.
I love it.
I was in a play.
Really? All right.
That's right.
Well,
RUR.
Are you that was the name of the play?
I was a killer robot. Mm-hmm.
Was this in high school or college or?
It was a high school play, but I was in junior high. My grandpa was the director. He was a big. You want to talk about movie nerds? That guy knows everything from way back.
Oh yeah.
Shakespeare fan, just a play director, writer, everything. And yeah, it's called RUR. It's about like these robots that kind of take over the world, and I was like the main robot. It was cool.
Yeah, so
a
I
good
can
story.
put you in something.
I would love to. Yeah, let's go. I got the idea for you on a book I read. That was like, I read a book, a Stephen King book. It was the only and first Stephen King book I've ever read. I was like, this would be a great movie that a low-budget independent filmmaker could easily make. It's called The Long... I don't even remember the name. I think it's called The Long Walk.
Yeah, somebody's done it. Yeah, it's been done. The Long Walk, yeah.
God damn. Okay, of course it has.
Stephen King in general makes a book and then it gets made into a movie.
Yeah.
I pretty much think so.
The Long Walk is a movie?
Yeah, and his short stories, like this is pretty well known in the industry. Like he charges you $1 for the rights if it's an independent film.
Oh, cool.
Which is very cool. Very cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's a badass. I love
Stephen
him.
King's interesting.
Damn, there goes my idea.
I just
Well,
got
you can still do it. It's been done before. Maybe it hasn't been done as well.
I can't do it. I'm just saying.
So in terms
my
of
idea.
directors, I love my Stanley Kubrick. By the way, I just got done seeing
He's amazing.
The Shining opera.
Oh, yeah. I saw you posted something.
Count me out.
What did Kansas City Lyric Opera do it? Was it
All
that-
I'm going to say
was
is
it really
I
that
saw
stunning?
the opera.
Yeah, she's speechless.
I saw the opera and I sat next to the
It sounds like they
understudy.
could fuck that up really easily.
Well, let's just think about
Oh, yeah,
like
it's got opera in the title.
well, and just think about the story and just think about like some of the things in it like hello honey, I'm home
Yeah,
or
see?
like
Is that what they did? That's what they fucking did with Jack Torrance and oh my god.
Oh, would it have
You've
been
seen
her
The Shining, right?
Italian?
Red room. Red room. Red room.
Red
Yeah.
rum.
Red rum. Red room. But it was red room.
That's terrible.
No, it's red rum.
Well, yeah, but red room because red room.
It's red rum.
Yeah, it's
It's
spelled
red rum
red
in the
rum.
movie.
But
Whose idea was this? I mean,
apparently the first one.
I
The first
saw
one.
the billboard for it.
I don't
That's
know for sure
terrible.
because I asked people where this originated from. I think it's Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Will you Google that?
Oh my God, Lisa, I'm so sorry.
Fargo.
Would
I
you
just
like-
want to make sure that I'm. Well, or else you're gonna have to.
Lisa, are you ready for
will
some
you look up
tequila?
The Shining
We're gonna
musical?
make an opera
Minnesota.
of The Shining.
Yeah. You know, it was. Yeah. But I do.
I saw that advertised.
Anyways, let's get back to yes. I would love to be
Yeah.
in your next movie.
Okay,
Yes,
done.
and he'll direct it.
According to Wikipedia, The Shining.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I kind of like it. I need to, according to Wikipedia, I want to know.
The
So,
Shining Minnesota Opera, inspired by Stephen King's best-selling novel.
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah.
We know that.
well, no, now I know it's not Minnesota.
You-
After it sold out, critically acclaimed world premiere.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. That doesn't sound like a good idea to
Well,
me. Turning
it-
that
that-
into an
but
opera.
I have to say,
like
set
Shelley
design-
Duvall
They
screaming
describe it
and
in Wikipedia as The Shining is an American opera in 2 acts and an epilogue with music composer.
This is great podcast material right now. Let me tell you.
so chaotic, such a mess, so chaotic.
Oh, so back to you.
Yes.
Me or the podcaster?
No.
Back
she's-
to you.
back to
Back to
Tom.
you. Back to you. Back to you guys.
You know Stanley Kubrick. Can I just say?
Give me
this?
some movies he's done because that name's very familiar.
2001: A Space Odyssey, Clockwork Orange,
Oh.
Doctor Strangelove, Full Metal Jacket.
Oh,
There you
love
go.
me that one.
I
There
thought that
we
would
go.
be the one.
Eyes wide
I watched
shut.
Clockwork Orange. I didn't. Maybe I was too young when I watched it, but I didn't.
Clockwork Orange is a lot. for
Everybody
some people
talked
to
about it
take.
was so great, and I was like, all right. But I was young when I watched it,
Yeah.
18 or something.
I was watching A Clockwork Orange recently
Mm-hmm.
because it's at the top of the Netflix queue. I guess young people are like discovering it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was playing this game. I was stoned out of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you?
I know. And I was playing this game of like, I'm going to guess what the next shot's going to be, where he's going to put the camera. And the interesting thing about Stanley Kubrick is you can never do that. Where he puts the camera is someplace you would never think to put the camera. Like it's some crazy angle. And you're just like, wow, I would have never dreamed of putting the camera there for that perspective. And he does it, and it works. It works brilliantly. Like, yeah.
I just got done
That's
watching.
Geek Out Film Talk.
Me too. I just watched him and
He's amazing.
I just
He's
watched
amazing.
Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman do all their press for Eyes Wide Shut after he died, and that shit is weird because they get a divorce right after it. And So Vanilla Sky is when he had divorced Nicole Kidman and started his affair with Penelope Cruz.
Oh, she's so hot.
Yeah. No, that happened. That happened.
That's what happened. That's how they broke up. He cheated on Nicole.
I don't know if he cheated on. It's Scientology, and she's Catholicism, and she came from a very heavy. So you know how Scientology is. It's heavy. It's big. He's immersed in it. Nicole Kidman's family, like when it comes to Catholicism, archdiocese, like her dad was some big kind of culty Catholic person. She's marrying a Scientologist. It's called, conflict of interest. But yeah, it's interesting to watch them talk. That's it. And then talk about Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
And it's considered his masterpiece because it's all about the Illuminati.
It's an incredible movie.
I love that movie. Yep. He's got good stuff. And The Shining's one of my favorites.
He only made 12 movies, and every one of them is amazing, except his first one, which he disowned. Like, it's called Fear and Desire.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want people to see this movie. It's a piece of shit.
Tom, what's your top 5 movies you would recommend people?
How about let's narrow it down?
It's a wonderful question, and it's an awful question at the same time.
Just not that are the top 5 or the top, just like off the top of your head, because you'll always forget about things, but just like top 5 movies off the top of your head people need to see.
Porky's.
Oh, wow. No.
Just kidding.
I love it. Oh, my God.
I don't even know why that came into my head. Raging Bull would be towards the top. Raging Bull. De Niro playing the boxer.
Black and white.
Lost
a lot of weight for that or something went through one of the big transformation for that one, right?
Yeah.
On the Line with Lance Bass. You were in that film.
Yeah. Why do we have to talk about that? Why do you always have to bring that up? Some stupid NSYNC movie that you actually see me in that movie too. Yeah.
He was in On the Line. Lance Bass.
Anyways,
Chris Kirkpatrick.
Before Seraphine derailed and train wrecked this thing.
That may be the only time in the history of humanity that Raging Bull and On the Line will be mentioned that close together. That's crazy.
What's wrong with you? Give me your other 4. Raging Bull.
Oh, it's so tough, man.
It's just off the top of your head. Don't go,
Off the top of my head, Raging Bull, probably The Tree of Life, Malick movie. Just throw a comedy in there. 1941. Did you ever see that?
Get more up on that mic.
Spielberg.
1941.
Spielberg made a bomb in 1979 that I think is a masterpiece. It's about a bunch of people mobilizing during World War II.
Okay.
It's got John Belushi and a bunch of crazy people.
Oh, shit.
That's a comedy?
That's a comedy.
Oh, boy. I did not see that one.
It's so good. It's like the best movie Spielberg's ever made. What else?
Romance.
A romance?
Mm-hmm.
No, they can be anything. Top 5.
I'm just trying to get him to answer.
Don't hijack my question.
Oh, last night I just watched it again. Last Tango in Paris. That's one of my favorite movies of all time, too. 1972. Marlon Brando, Maria Schneider. It's such a hard question. It's so daunting because there's like 40 movies that are my favorite movies. What have we talked about recently? Didn't I tell you? Didn't somebody ask me this when we went out to dinner one night? We were talking about our
It's not the most
movies.
original question. I understand.
No. It's a great question, but it's tough.
Yeah.
For a film lover.
Right.
For a movie lover.
Do you have a musical film?
Oh, gross. Those don't exist.
No, not a musical as in like musical. I'm talking like
You mean like
heavy.
Grease or
No,
I hate
like a
musicals.
Cameron Crowe film.
Hate
Like
them.
like heavy music, like your movie. Your movie's got a lot of music in the background.
Thank you.
So like music that like kind of
Who
rules.
sings like this in real life?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Somebody made me watch.
I know.
What's that Ryan? What's that handsome Ryan? Is it Ryan Gosling?
Ryan Gosling, yeah.
What's the Broadway? What was the one that he did? That's
Oh God, that. Yeah, we
He was in a musical? Ryan Gosling?
La La Land.
La La
La
Land.
La Land.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, I hated
No, that was
fucking
terrible.
movie. I hated it.
That movie was terrible.
Oh, they're
That-
all terrible.
No, I was talking about like music. I was just talking about like music being the background to it. Yeah.
I love Bob's Burgers, but when they do the music,
Yeah.
I don't get it. And I don't.
Yeah.
That's like every.
Scorsese. All the Scorsese movies are wonderful. Casino,
There you go.
Goodfellas.
So he answered your question.
They have to do one episode where it's like a musical. I'm like, why do people do that?
To please the musical fans.
Casino and Goodfellas.
Yeah, there we go.
There you
Casino.
go.
Love
There
me
you
some
go.
Casino.
Yeah, Kundun.
Goodfellas, of course.
Actually, I interviewed Spike Lee once. There was a Spike Lee movie on.
Do the Right Thing.
I was just about to say, Do the Right Thing is about as good as a movie gets.
So rewind. You interviewed him for what?
I interviewed him for Film Slate magazine years ago. It was a roundtable interview. There was like 5 of us, and we had like an hour and a half with Spike Lee.
Oh, cool.
And that was super cool, yeah.
Did he impress you? Were you like, oh, wow, this dude's got like a cool aura about him? Or
he did not like me.
Well,
I could tell. He did not like me.
You probably should have had that. You knew that was coming.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure why he didn't like me, but he did not seem to like me. And I was, oddly enough, I was the only pale white human being at the table.
That was like, Spike, tell me about.
I was the only one.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, he was kind of like, you last.
Yeah.
You last. Everybody else before you. But I love Spike Lee. I think he's amazing. Do the Right Thing is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Seraphine, give me 5 movies you think people need to see.
She likes Porky's.
Porky's is definitely number 1.
And The Breakfast Club.
No, a Breakfast Club is definitely in there.
Can I pee?
Yes, go pee.
No.
Go
I said
pee.
no.
Go pee. I love it. No, I'd say Breakfast Club. I'd say I really like Vanilla Sky. I like the original one. That was an Almodovar film. And then I would say what else do I like? Oh, I love The Shining. I like anything that has to do with Kubrick. I'm a big fan.
Stephen King hated the movie The Shining.
I know. Yeah. There, and I actually understand quite a bit about your art being seen, when you see someone translate your art. It's kind of tough. But yeah, I would say those are 3 of the top ones. And then I don't know, I've got so many. It's a tough question to ask, and they're always ever changing.
Right.
Always ever changing. But
yeah.
those are definitely the 3 that come to mind.
I said 5, lady.
I know 5.
Give me 2 more.
I would have to say
comedy? What's a great comedy? Do you like comedies?
Oh, I love comedy.
Give me a good comedy.
I think I don't know. I'm a weird person for comedy because I actually like more short skit, short form comedy, because I feel like
Chappelle Show or something.
Yeah, or again, some SNL skits are amazing. There's a really cool Australian guy who's got his name is, God, what does he do? He did a thing called The Lunatics. That's on
the Saint
Netflix.
Lunatics?
But it's not it. But the thing is, it's like one of his name's Chris.
I gotta drop a few, Charles. I gotta drop a few.
Yeah, I love it. Nah, and I don't know. I'm trying to think what else. I've just there's again too many of them.
There's
My brain's
too many of them, but you can't come up with only 3.
Well, you know what? There's sentimental ones. The reason why I love Top Gun is my dad loved Air Force, and every time I hear the music and see the visuals, and I'm a nerd for sentimentality. So a lot of the movies I like are very romantic and corny.
That's okay.
But then I also love really weird, trippy films because I love David Lynch. Okay. So yeah, we could talk about that for hours.
Tremendous amount of respect for editors.
But I have to say,
he ain't editing shit.
No, I love it. It's going to be 2 hours.
No one's editing shit. This
podcast is longer than your film.
Yeah, I'd say so by now.
Yeah, do you guys need to be done? We can wrap this bitch up.
We can totally wrap it up. So, if you were going to kind of close it up, I would ask you. These are the last questions I would have for you that are.
Is it because I took a bathroom break that we're wrapping everything up?
No, we can keep going.
Had to pee.
Let's keep going.
All right. So just to number 1, when you're in the bathroom, do you look at your phone or you just get it done? Or do you pick up a magazine?
Wait, hold on. Ask the question again. Ask the question
again.
If
you're in the bathroom, do you pick up a magazine? Do you have a phone? Do you just get it in, go in, out? Are you someone who sits and ponders?
First of all, out of left field. Second of all, I love it.
Am I defecating or am I urinating?
You're defecating. You better not be holding up a magazine while you're pissing.
The thing is, I have some manners. I'm not going to talk about.
Glad you stuck around, Lisa?
I'm just
Lisa, are you still working on the same hams?
It's a pretty long.
Would you like some tequila or whiskey?
No. Yeah, she's like, I'm good. I'm good.
I asked earlier. I'm just trying to be a good host.
I don't play with my phone in the bathroom.
You know?
No, I do my stuff and leave.
That's very good. Very good.
Seraphine and I are all about espresso.
I figure there's plenty of people doing it.
I got vodka.
I don't need to do it. There's
All
plenty of people doing it already.
I got wine that Seraphine brought. I'll give you as much as you want.
IBS, I can't have red wine.
IBS.
Oh.
Do you have any?
No, that you can't have wine.
How do we get on?
I have a
irritable
great
bowel syndrome?
Oh, I think they're talking about
Podcast.
alcohol.
I have a great podcast with someone that has IBS.
Cheers.
She has a one-woman show that she's taken to
Seems to be the order.
what's the Scotland Edinburgh Fest. She does a one-woman show on her IBS. It's called Oops. No, sorry.
Oops,
Poop-
I did it again.
Poops, I did it again.
Oops, I did. Oh God.
Oh, you talking about SB?
Yeah, Espy. Yeah, Slutterbell.
Really?
The Every Fairy. Yeah.
It's a lady-
She's an
girl
actress.
Yeah.
Oh, you know her?
No. But if she's doing something at the Edinburgh Festival,
Yeah,
I
she
assume
would.
an actress.
She would do. I know Charles here is an actor.
Yeah.
I know a local director, Jackie
We'll
Terry.
have to
Shout out to
exchange info before I leave. Yeah.
Shout out to Jackie Terry. He's a black independent director. Makes a lot of hood movies that he calls them.
You always call him KC Hood Films.
KC Hood Films.
What's his name?
Jackie Terry?
Has he got stuff on Vimeo?
Oh yeah, he's got shit on YouTube that's
I
awesome.
watched a lot of his films actually. He made me as he made my films after.
Yeah.
For real, he's really dope.
Yeah, I've had some actor. I don't know. I mean, I got some. I don't have a ton of connections, but I got some people.
It's really hard.
Are you
to
out of
find.
here?
Yeah.
Lisa, thank you for your Googling skills.
I'll see you guys later.
Appreciate it. Hope you have a good night. Drive safe.
See you later.
Bye bye.
She didn't even say goodbye to me. She ignored me.
Bye, Lisa.
Oh, I love it.
How rude.
She does that.
How rude.
That's kind of a thing I've noticed.
I said, hey,
Unless
have a
it's
good
you
night.
and
Hope you
Pat.
It's
drive
called-
safe.
well, wait a
She
second.
just said, who the fuck are you?
You might have scared her a little bit. What were you guys yelling about a minute ago?
No, we were talking about how much we liked.
Her and I
Breaking
were talking,
Bad.
and I saw you going,
Oh yeah.
and I was
No.
like, "What happened?"
Our mutual hate for musicals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, she's.
We both hate musicals.
She's
and,
like-
and we both what was the other thing and we both like Breaking Bad.
She had to get back to her kiddo.
No,
Yes.
I'm not saying it's anything. I was just saying she didn't say goodbye to me when I said goodbye to her.
She was like,
Did we solve the problems of the universe?
I mean,
Almost.
Isn't that why we got together?
That's why
We did.
That's why I invited you.
So think of something, Tom. Quick. I'm just kidding.
Go on, Tom. Solve the universe.
Oh, I don't.
What
have
happens when we die?
I don't have the solutions.
I don't either.
I don't.
What's your next
but
movie project?
I'm interested in trying to figure it out. Probably the Charlie Parker thing. I mean, that's what we're working on right now.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Charlie Parker documentary. I have interviews with his stepdaughter, but I'm trying to get more funding and I can't do that the way I did that thing you watched.
no.
It's not going to work. So
No, it's not. It's not. Is it going to be a movie or a documentary?
documentary. This is bigger. I want to get this on Netflix or
Oh shit!
Hulu or something. So I'm trying to get some.
What's that process? How does that process differ than the project you just did with Bravado?
Well, the thing I just did, I didn't have to rely on anyone else.
Well, and the other thing
I
too
didn't, have
is,
to go get,
and the
I
other
didn't
thing,
have to ask for money or.
and
go
it's a
get chase money.
documentary. I mean, you're.
But I mean, the process of, with opposed to this, just putting it on Vimeo and putting it into film festivals. What is the process going to be of getting a project like this onto a Netflix type thing? Like, what's going to separate and be the difference between the two types of films? Like, as far as
I think what he's asking is with a short film, like versus like if you were going to try to get the film you just did.
On
That's
Netflix,
a 30, like a short form, because there's short
it
form.
wouldn't be. It wouldn't
would-
happen. It wouldn't be possible because it wouldn't make it past whatever their barometers are. But it's not necessarily the production value.
No,
It's the
Okay.
length. And
I think a documentary would be easier because people aren't expecting huge production value out of something like that.
yeah. Well, there's a bunch of documentaries right now about jazz musicians
Mm-hmm.
all over streaming services, but there's not one about Charlie Parker, and it's really weird. It's kind of baffling.
why do you think that is?
I don't know. And then the people I've talked to who know way more about jazz and are, 18th and Vine, like they don't know the answer to that either.
Well, and you've also had exchanges with actors who are like invested in his story. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised that because
I tried to get hold of Don
Cheadle,
Don
right?
Cheadle.
Yeah.
He's a
I
know Don Cheadle?
I know Don
He's
Cheadle.
a Kansas City guy.
Yeah.
Hotel Rwanda.
Yep.
That's an art movie. You saw that movie?
Oh, I see a lot of movies.
That's
Tom.
an art house movie.
I see a lot of movies.
Yeah.
I thought you said earlier you weren't a movie guy.
I've seen a lot of movies, but
you told me that earlier, and I was like,
you're
okay,
right.
I'm not going to bombard him.
No,
with movie
you
stuff.
are right. Lately, I still like movies, but like shows and things. I'm a big YouTube guy.
Yeah.
But I still watch a lot of movies. I do love movies. I fucking love movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
Super Troopers, one of my favorite movies.
I love it.
Big Lebowski, one of my favorite movies. Fight Club.
There you go.
The Dark Knight. Caddyshack.
Porky's?
No, Porky's just isn't good.
Oh, come on.
It doesn't age well. It doesn't age well
It
at all.
definitely doesn't age well.
And I don't even mean with like the rape type.
Peeping on women in the shower.
Yeah, like I don't even mean that. Just like the jokes, none of it ages well.
Have you seen that stupid ass movie, Porky's?
Porky's?
It's like 1984.
I think it's before that. I think that's like a 70s movie.
No.
It's damn near close, man. That's an old fucking movie.
It's pretty ancient. It's awful too.
Yeah.
I don't know why the fuck I've been talking about it.
Everybody. I was close.
That was a couple years before I was born.
81?
81.
Porky's, really?
I knew it was close to that. So I have kids, so I try to watch what I can watch with them. And everyone's been talking about the Lego movie, how great that is. I watched that with them last weekend.
Now they're making a Beanie Babies
It's just
movie.
The Matrix. The Lego movie is just The
auditioned for it
Matrix.
just the other day.
The
A
Beanie Baby?
Babies movie. Zach Galifianakis is in it.
I love Zach Galifianakis. A Beanie Baby movie? How? Does anybody outside of our generation know what a Beanie Baby is?
I
Not too many.
Yeah,
I have no idea why they're making the movie.
And what does that even mean? It sounds like an animated movie
It
or a
might-
documentary.
I don't know what it is, to be honest with you.
So how do
They
you
don't tell me much when I audition for these things.
how do you go about an audition?
Lately via Zoom.
But like, how do you like?
one of these
Can
things.
anybody audition, or because you've been in the game so long, they just ask you, or you just know the?
Well, I have
the
an
road?
agent in
shit.
Dallas that gets me, the audition.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you audition on Zoom?
Mostly lately. I auditioned in Chicago recently, but that was for a commercial that paid a lot.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
I
Yeah, that's
found
where
out-
to go, huh?
I was like, that pays a lot. I'm going to drive to Chicago and audition for that. It's worth it.
What is it? What is the audition life like? It's got to be
It's
very
terrible.
hard.
It's terrible.
Not fun at all.
It's the worst fucking thing in the world. Yeah.
Because you're always getting rejected.
The best case scenario is somebody casts you or knows they already want you, but auditioning, any actor will tell you it's like the worst thing in the world. It's not that it's that nerve-wracking or painful. It's just that you go into a room and you're waiting for somebody to tell you, yes, you'll do, and that's the worst position in the world to be in, It's
so for not someone like you, but you specifically, when you're going to different auditions, again, are you hoping and dreaming of like, I hope someone sees this in me, sees something in me to where I can have like a lead role?
Not anymore. Not at this age. At this age,
What do you mean at this age? That's so you're not. There's plenty of roles for a leading man.
Again, I'm 48. What I think is, I just hope I get the job if the part is right, and that's the end of it. So none of that stuff comes into play like it did in my 20s and 30s. Yeah.
Well, is it because you've been rejected so many times as not being that you're like, all right, it's never gonna happen?
That is definitely a factor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess it would be. It's got to be hard.
Because that's happened a lot. Yeah.
For so many years.
It's just a true test of how much you love what you do. I mean, I think that's the thing that's the
You love
hard.
acting?
I do.
I mean, come on.
I do. I really do love it. Yeah.
Acting. What's your favorite?
I can only do certain things, though. I don't have any illusions about what I can play. Like,
Okay.
it has to be certain things.
What's your thing? What's your
like
when you see an
know
audition? Like, what kind of roles do you see yourself doing? Like, what is like, this is Tom Beaver. I've got this.
If it's a tall guy, not too crazy, like deep voice, certain.
Mad Men.
I auditioned for Mad Men. I was called back several times for Mad Men. But, like, I read the other day that Joaquin Phoenix is playing Napoleon. Like, I know I couldn't do that. That's not, it's like you're not going to, or Elvis, the kid that got all the attention for Elvis.
You can't probably do Elvis. I could see you doing a Napoleon.
No, Napoleon's
like,
short.
He's like this big.
He's tiny.
No, he wasn't. That's a miss.
No.
Oh, come on.
He was
short.
Was he 6'5"?
Nope. For the time. No, listen to me. I do know this.
He was Nigerian, but he was a Frenchman.
For the time and for where he was from, he was taller than average, but he surrounded himself with bigger people.
That's true. That's
so
true.
he surrounds. So people think that he was a lot smaller than he was because he surrounded himself with bigger people. But he was an above average. He was like 5'10".
He was like.
He was pretty short.
He was Tom Cruise, but not Danny
5'10".
DeVito.
I'm 5'10". I'm slightly above average. I'm not a short dude. I don't think of myself.
You don't
as
think
short.
he was Tom Cruise, like 5'7"?
No,
he wasn't Danny DeVito.
Can we find out exactly how
he was
tall
not
Napoleon was?
He was not a liked man.
I don't know if he was ever measured.
I believe he was like 5'10", and he surrounded himself with like 6 foot and above people, and he was taller than average for that time period, especially. And that was a long time ago. Do you know what the average size American was during the Civil War?
I know, it's crazy. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's
read,
like 5'6" to 5'8", 150 pounds or some shit like that.
I just read the other day that Beethoven was 5'3". That's crazy.
Oh my God,
that's a midget. That's like a midget man. Beethoven.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah, don't talk too much shit on Napoleon.
Oh, I got no problems with Napoleon.
But I could see
never
you.
met
So
him.
I'm saying you could be a Napoleon for sure.
Oh, I don't think.
I don't think.
I don't think so. Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. No.
And here's where I could see you being.
Either one of you would make a better Napoleon than me.
And I could see you also doing like a science fiction type, like a typecast with like maybe three or four people in the cast.
I better have another.
And you're
in a submarine.
You want some tequila?
I better have one more drink.
What do you want?
Yeah.
Tequila or whiskey?
Longer.
Yeah.
I'll have a little bit of whiskey.
All right.
Just a
Or you can have wine if you want.
Can you have it neat?
Oh, you don't like red wine. Sorry.
Neat?
I got you.
Is neat fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not a big fan of red wine.
You want some? Yes.
But no,
you
I could
can
see you
definitely
like
have
doing
some more
some
because I
kind
am
of
not
like.
going to be drinking all this. You can, get some.
Good though.
You want some?
A little splash more. I'll feel. You're like, no, I'm good.
I'm not a big fan of red wine,
But that's good. All right.
Thanks, man.
I like that you enjoy it.
Tom, I could see you in like a outer space movie, like in a spacesuit, science fiction type thing.
I love it.
What was the Matt Damon one? Let's science the shit out of this.
Oh, yeah.
Astronaut.
Yeah.
No.
Astronaut.
The Martian.
Or the Martian,
Yeah.
Okay, so
You have it.
The Martian.
You got the book.
I got the book. Andy Weir.
So, Tom, if all the movies encompass that you've seen in your life, if there was a role that you wish you could have played,
That's a really hard question too.
Because it's already been played. Like, you think you could do it better?
It's funny.
No,
What would you like to play?
I watch movies all the time, and I'm like, damn, that would have been a really cool movie to shoot.
Well,
You want to be Napoleon?
she is Napoleon. Remember, There Will Be Blood.
We all know who
Yes.
Seraphine would be.
I would have loved to play that part. I would have loved it.
Now that I
mean,
can
of
totally.
course, you wouldn't have done it as well, but I mean, it's
Daniel Day-Lewis is kind of hard to like,
movie?
but also There Will Be
I
Blood.
would love to.
Oh,
one of the greatest movies ever.
you will drink my milkshake.
Yeah. You're a bastard in a basket.
Bastard in
A bastard in a basket.
Yeah.
Great. We all know, everybody, we know what Seraphine would be.
What would I be?
Fucking Tomb Raider. You're
Tomb
Lara Croft.
I could see my. Yeah.
She'll approve of that. I think.
I would definitely.
yeah.
I could slide into some Angelina Jolie. Now, if I could literally do, like, when I think of, the thing is about women is like, now they're finally getting into acting roles that I'm like, yes, this is like gritty, amazing stuff.
What are you talking about?
Well,
They've been doing that forever.
They
Sigourney
have
Weaver, Alien.
Yeah, but it's
Fattest
still,
bitch ever.
This
Yeah.
is interesting. We should talk about this.
Yeah.
if you don't mind. It's your podcast.
I don't mind at all.
Yeah.
It's not my podcast. It's our podcast.
I was thinking about this the other day. Like, women are kind of upset about like roles and not getting good roles, but I was thinking that same thing.
Women
All
are upset about everything.
All my-
What
You ever met
female
them?
role are you fantasizing about playing?
Jessica Lange, Meryl Streep. I was thinking about all these wonderful actresses that have played
Dorothy.
these wonderful roles through the years, and I'm like, what do they mean when they say they want more? Is it that they want to not be seen through the male gaze while they're playing these roles? Is that it?
Well, let's
Because
just
Meryl Streep talks about this all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean?
You're
Meryl Streep.
here's what
You
you-
won 50 Oscars and you're a wonderful actress.
Tom, here's what you got to take.
And I don't understand what she's talking about.
You know what it is? It's about age.
No, you know what
It's about age and being typecast. You're either the ingenue, the beautiful young thing that people are like, oh my gosh, she's too young, but she's so growing into her bosom.
Oh, that's that
Or
new
it's-
chick right now.
or-
Ortega.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Oh yeah, Wednesday Addams.
What's her name? Something
right?
Ortega.
Jenna Ortega.
Yeah,
Jenna Ortega. That's
and
the
then
new.
and then you've got you've got that.
She's
then you
I
have
love her. I think she's incredible.
then you have your like, and these are traditional old roles. We're starting to unravel and get more gritty roles. But before it was the ingenue, then it was like the sexy romantic lead, or like the girl coming into her own. She doesn't know, she's so smart, but she doesn't know her potential. And then it's like the mom. And then it is,
Sure. Or the
then
mistress,
or the
or- yeah,
activist. That you get the activist role, and then you get what? Or the martyr. You can be a martyr, an activist, a mother.
But they did all those things, and they did
You
them
like how it just
very
changed
well.
the lights like that?
I saw that. It's getting.
It's kind of feeling a little bit. Now let's change things
Well,
up.
now
need to
that's
watch
what I'm
this
saying
Bill
is
Maher
now
thing.
things have
It's
changed.
good. He does this.
They have so.
You guys, I just
yeah,
I just
kidding.
changed.
I agree with you.
I just changed the lighting in here to set the
Mood it.
mood. Tom, who would you like to fuck in Hollywood? I'm just kidding.
Sean
I'm just
Penn.
kidding.
Sean Penn. Oh, I know.
Just joking.
Actually, fun fact.
I do love
Fun
Sean
fact.
Penn, but I don't want to have sex
Fun
with him.
fact.
He's
I
crazy.
still have. I borrowed
so
a
good.
biography in my 20s from him. That's Sean Penn, and I still have the book.
Really?
Yep, still have it.
When was the last
Can I
time
have
you
it
read
back?
You can. I got to find it in my box somewhere. I've got like boxes of books, but it's so funny. I have your Sean Penn biography. That is hilarious that you said you want to fuck Sean Penn.
I was just joking. I don't
Se-
want to.
no, he doesn't want to. We don't know. Seraphine, were you into acting? Like, was that your passion too?
I did, but I had a family who.
How did you get into that? Like, was there? Okay, I asked him earlier. Let me ask you: was there a movie at a certain point in your life that triggered you, that just turned that switch on to like, I love this. This is my passion. I want to be an actress. I want to star in something.
Oh my gosh. I think ever since I was a little kid, I mean, God, I watched The Goonies. I still watch The Goonies like a million times over. I mean, for me, it was Steven Spielberg. It was Drew Barrymore, E.T. Like as a kid, I just
hate
wanted
that movie.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good movie, actually.
E.T.?
Yeah.
Have you
I
watched it as an adult?
I know.
Like now?
Yeah.
Oh, I watched it when it first came out. Whatever. I was like 8, 9, 10, whatever.
I don't like Spielberg,
And
but
I
I
didn't
like
like
that
it.
movie.
That
Yeah.
movie's great. I don't know. I just, for me, like my whole childhood, like magic happened on the movie screen. Like Jennifer Connelly, Labyrinth. I could go through like like the Star Wars films. I mean, I could go into Indiana Jones. I mean, the reason why, like
Big Harrison Ford fan, huh?
no, actually, I'm a big Short Round fan. Like when I indie, like that child innocence. Like
He just
I was.
won an Oscar.
Well, and that was it was sweet. I don't know if he deserved the Oscar for it. I think he was really
Shots
good for
fired.
it.
He won
And he's
it.
good.
He
He's
won
good.
it because he was Asian.
I think that there is.
Shots fired again.
I think
Big shots.
there's yeah.
But
Those
it's
are
true.
I mean,
He was wonderful in the movie, but
I
What
don't
movie
know
was it? Everything.
everything.
Everywhere all at once?
Yeah.
Oh, he was the dad.
And again, great performance. But again, and the thing
Yeah,
is,
he
what I
was the
don't
dad.
like about the award shows is what it's
he
all.
barely
it's-
was in that movie. That movie was
No.
not. He was barely in that thing.
he won supporting actor, but it was
Okay.
Yeah, he was barely in it.
There was so many good supporting, and again, I think it's great that he had a renaissance. I think it's great that I hope he gets more roles. I just feel like he had his. What's going to break my heart is he gets this supporting actor role, and what happens is we're never going to see him again.
Of course not.
Well, you know, he had no career for years.
We haven't seen him since.
But it's like the
There's been
whale.
nothing
It's
since
like the
the
whale.
80s or
Brendan,
90s.
I mean, I hate to say it. I don't want to predict it.
We
I
saw
don't.
Brennan at this Journey to the Center of the Earth or whatever that was.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wasn't he in that?
I don't know.
My-
I thought he was in The Mummy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know that.
The problem with all the political correctness now is that we're
Can we
now
talk about that?
we can
I want to talk about that.
let's talk about it.
Can we talk about that?
We're going to talk about
And then we can
what's
just
being
end it.
politically
You're
incorrect
the maestro.
here.
Yeah.
Of course. We get into it. Like I said, me and her got into transgenders in
We did.
sports, and ultimately ended up being correct with their opinion.
Well, at the end of the day, it came out.
Tom, me.
And
This was
I-
way before that Leah Thomas chick.
Right.
I will say with the Hollywood game though.
The Oscars was, yeah, not to cut you off, but it's crazy. This year it was like showing people
I went to a
this
movie
does
instead
not
of
work.
watching the movie. Instead of watching the Oscars, I went to a movie.
Yeah.
That's actually a good choice.
A lot of people don't watch the Oscars anymore because of
Fuck,
what we're
what movie
talking
was
about
it?
because it's
Yeah.
gotten so insane.
Well, and again, it's also
Kate Blanchett should have won Best Actress.
she was amazing.
Period.
She was so good.
But she didn't, and she knew why she didn't.
She
Did you
totally
see the
did.
look on her face
Totally.
when the camera was on her?
But I will say this. I will say,
Oscars?
yeah,
Did you watch him? Yeah.
yeah.
I thought it was Jamie Lee Curtis winning, and I'm not.
Oh
What
God,
movie did
Jamie
I
Lee
see? I
Curtis
don't even
should
remember
not.
what movie I saw.
Lee Curtis winning, you know.
No.
Because she's been acting forever.
Oh, I saw.
I just never seen the movie that she won the Oscar.
I mean, she
Nobody
would-
did.
I saw Black
Nobody
I mean,
saw
think
that
about
movie.
What
think
movie
about-
was it?
The movie that won Best Actress, Everything
Well-
Everywhere
Everywhere
All at Once.
Oh, I saw. I
mean,
thought a lot of people saw it. I saw
Yeah.
it.
Hulu right now.
And I mean, it was
mean-
just it was interesting to see. Like the supporting actress realm was hard for me to watch because again, Jamie Lee's great. I got it. She fit the old woman category. And this is the thing is everybody
was
got
she in?
categories.
She was in that Everything
Yeah.
Everywhere
No,
All
she-
at Once.
what?
Yeah.
And I don't like it. that
Jamie
we're
Lee
now-
Curtis was in
we're
that
now-
movie?
This is the thing is
Who
political.
was she in that movie?
I didn't see it.
She was the
I
tax
didn't see it.
person. She was the tax person.
She must have barely been in that one too.
No, she was in it quite a bit.
It was the mom and the daughter that whole movie.
It was, but she was in it. She had a few fight scenes in
I didn't see it.
her. She was the tax preparer.
Okay.
But
I actually shouldn't say shit about that movie because I did not see it. So I don't know how good what's
No,
her
it was-
face
it was
in,
good.
the
It-
Best
You're
Actress.
thing
supposed
is-
to eat a bunch of mushrooms and watch it.
I
Right.
think the tough thing is that it and I hate that we now have categories.
I
We
think
have
I'd be harsher on it if I did that.
You're supposed to. It's
I
supposed
know
to.
that's what I heard. Yeah, it's that type of movie.
the thing that-
it's like Mommy in the Matrix, right?
yeah. Well, the
What?
whole you
Molly in the Matrix.
Mommy.
I
Mom.
can't. No, it's
What's
a
that?
lot. It's actually a really good film. It is a really good film, but it's also visually and
What's
like
Mommy in the Matrix?
That's what I thought.
It's
that
essentially-
was my understanding of the
It's
crux
essentially-
of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Mother in the Matrix, like Neo.
Sort of, but
Not really.
not really because everything all at where once was more like multiple.
It's
The multiverse.
It's the
The
yeah,
multiverse.
and
meta,
the
yeah.
Matrix is simulation theory.
So what did Short Round do in it? He was somebody's
He played
dad.
her husband.
Or-
The
He
husband
played
and
the
the
main
dad,
character, Michelle Yeoh.
and was he really that? You know, was this Best Supporting Actor when?
This is the thing is it's all subjective. It's all subjective.
That's true.
And
But
this is the thing
sometimes
is
you know. Sometimes you just know.
the bottom line is that the ones that I actually put like merit into is I do appreciate Screen Actors Guild because it's the people in the guild voting, people who do
Seraphine.
what they do.
You're so
I'm trying to
funny.
be serious about the question,
I
though.
know
I
you
am.
are. You're
I
funny.
mean, I wish, but like, who's in the Academy? Like, who actually votes in the Academy?
Where I pull out my SAG card.
Oh, I love it.
And just throw it on the table.
Yes,
SAG
let's put it there.
cards.
Earned.
Wow.
But the Golden Globes
What did
is
you
a
ask
bunch
me?
of like the foreign press. Critics' Choice or critics.
Yeah.
So if you think about, it's all subjective. It's people who watch a film and go, "That was the best performance."
Well, it's like earlier we asked who was on the committee for the Kansas City FilmFest. Like, who's deciding?
but I
that
think
these
the hard.
movies
The,
get-
I think the hard part is.
Yeah, who
that-
is?
I think
Depends.
the hard part is when you start to see, well, and again, I think representation is so important, right? But when it overshadows to a point to where people are almost uncomfortable, I feel like it has to happen. It does have to happen, but there has to be a discussion about the why behind it. And I think that's the tough part is I don't like seeing performers who did a really weighty, beautiful performance and one that's like, it's all right. But you know what? Because there's no representation, it has more merit than the other one. Like, who's the judge of that? But then in the next breath, I'm like, but for how long have you seen amazing performances been overlooked? Because what? They're either
men. White
What
men.
kind of men?
I don't know. And that's the thing is I'm the first one to say I have an opinion, but
a friend of mine said something interesting the other day. He said, white people are now learning what minorities have known forever, which is that racism is endemic to the nature of everyone. It's just a question of whose turn is it and how long is your turn going to last? And that when he said that to me, I was like, dude, you just blew my mind. Like, because when you watch the Oscars, somebody could make an argument for they were being racist against Cate Blanchett because she deserved that Oscar.
No. We're not even to that point. Not at all.
People are already to that point.
I mean, no.
It's getting that debased.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think.
And did you see what that actress tweeted out?
He's right. If I was gay, this would be the biggest podcast in the history of the world.
I love it.
What that actress that won.
I just gotta suck one dick.
God.
What's up, guys out there? If you want, I'll sell my soul to be the
I
biggest podcast ever.
I'm out. That's my cue. No. The actress that won for Everything Everywhere All at Once, she tweeted a couple. Did you see that tweet she sent out where she's like, Cate Blanchett's won several Oscars. She shouldn't win. Like, she was already setting the template for what's in the culture. And she was saying, give me that Oscar because I'll be the first Asian woman to win an Academy Award for Best Actress.
And they shut her
down. It
gets
manipulative.
Yeah, it does.
And they
identity politics.
So
I can't believe. Hold on, Seraphine. I cannot believe identity politics would play in Hollywood. I can't believe it.
I know, shocking, right?
How do you feel about prizes in general? What merits?
What kind of
best
prize?
Of?
The only prizes I concern myself with
like
are ones that you have to physically earn.
So just physical.
Some mental, but not judging prizes.
Okay.
Judging prizes,
but art in general is like subjective. So you know what? There's no scale for that.
I'm not into subjective prizes. I want a real. I like the World Cup. I like the Super Bowl. I like the World Series. I like people that are earning a prize, a trophy. If you will.
Why do you think we're still so obsessed? Because again, we're still in a culture now of what. Not everybody deserves an award, but in the next breath, we're also being like, well, don't hurt my child's ego, and you want to be acknowledged. So I think going back to the film festival, the reason why you're in the film festival, it's not because you're going to win some prize. It's just that people viewed it, they saw it, they accepted it. But in the next breath, like, this is the hard part is like, if you don't have people look at your material and have an opinion about it. I guess the danger here is when you're presenting it to a group of people, how vulnerable do you feel now in the state of the world it is when you're bringing your piece of art, which I know is incredibly personal to you?
Not too vulnerable, but we didn't really, there's nothing in the movie that's going to trigger, I don't think, anyone, really.
But for you, if
everyone
said
people
it's
are
shit,
always triggered.
If people say it's shit,
I mean, if they do get triggered, I'm going to be like, "What the fuck triggered
But like,
you
but
about
to
it?"
put yourself out there,
I don't understand.
I mean, I guess
teen suicide triggers people.
Yeah, but I think we're very empathetic.
And we've talked about it so much.
Empathetic, like I
Seraphine.
was trying to show empathy.
The hard part is, though, I'm going to say this: the hard part about like physicality is what you beat the shit out of someone, and guess what? You win.
Yeah.
The hard part about art is that you put yourself out there, you're vulnerable, you put something out that like is a part of you, and you are hoping that someone gets it. But like no one is being.
I am 100% the drunkest one in this room right now.
But that's really good. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys register that? That was good.
No, it was good. Everything she says is gold.
That one.
He's like, I don't know though. He's like, but I want to beat the shit out of him.
I don't want to beat the shit out of you
kidding.
or anybody. Well, that's not true.
But it is. It's tough. I think that's the hard part. Is we all want approval. We all want to know we're doing well, right?
You ever been in a fight, Seraphine?
I have.
Physical fight?
I have.
What kind of
Tell me about it.
is this?
Tell me about it.
I'm not a good fighter.
You get your ass kicked?
No, actually, I will go down with punches, but I'm.
You ever beat a bitch up?
Have I beat a bitch up?
That's what a fight is.
Is this going
actually,
in an FBI file?
You know what? The only thing I ever I've gotten into a fight, but I usually am the one to be like, don't touch my face. But the one thing I've done that I've always felt guilty about is I pushed my poor little sister one day into
Seraphine,
a lawnmower.
I'm not talking about that. Have you been on a straight up fight
yeah, I have. And
not with a sibling.
And I did. I got. And unfortunately, the moment I was slammed into a locker, I was like, "Don't touch the face. Don't touch the." I was like,
"That's."
I like if there was no.
Don't touch the hair.
Like I could go
up.
physical. But when you're pushing my body into like metal, no, not happening. Not happening. I will go fist with someone. I will go to, but but not anymore. I'm fucking old lady.
Well,
no.
I'm just asking if you've
you
ever.
could probably kick some ass though. You're in good shape.
I don't know.
Oh, you could definitely beat bitches up your age.
I don't know.
You're probably fast.
Oh yeah. Have you
Agile?
seen women your age?
Yeah.
You're an anomaly.
30 years old. 30 years old.
In this region, for sure.
Yeah.
In the Midwest.
Those 30-year-olds are getting tired looking, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You could beat a 30-year-old chick up for sure.
Whatever.
Tom, you ever been in a fight, a little fist fight? You ever?
Oh yeah.
Beat a dude? Yeah.
Yeah.
When
it was never something I instigated, but
right.
I'm the first one to say stop, though. I speak a big game, and I'll throw a few, and then I'm the first one to be like, no.
Yeah.
I am. I admit it. I am not like, I wish I could be like, come on, look at me. How much jewelry? Like, no.
Yeah,
I had hair extensions.
It's
like,
not
no.
a very desirable situation to be in. Like, punch me and I'll punch you.
Well, no,
It's
but
just
you
not
know.
a good desirable.
Are you
like,
like the
let's
last
avoid
fist?
that.
Are you the last fist in a fight?
I haven't been in a fight. I haven't been in a fight in a long time, but I've
Yeah.
been in them. I was just curious if you guys have ever
Yeah, no.
fisticuffs. I've been in road rage fights.
Yeah.
I
was
just saw one on the
crazy.
way here. God, there was a pissed off person going into Independence, and they were. I was in the middle lane.
I-70 is crazy. Was it on I-70?
Yeah, and I seriously, it's crazy. This person was like in the fast lane and wanting to go, and all these cars were slow, and I just let him in because I could tell he was on fire. So he moves in, and he gives me a little nod, and then he goes and he passes all the people in the speeding lane and raises his finger and goes, nah. Next car, nah, until he hits the very big and passes all of them. And I was like
that.
men are
like
angry.
that.
There's a lot of angry
I got
men.
in a straight up road rage
Yep.
fight. Like
Yep.
we were fighting
He
in
flipped
the
you off?
street.
Not me. He gave
Who
me a
the
nod.
fuck flips anyone
No.
off?
He
does that?
flipped
You
off
know who
into the
does
speeding
that?
lane.
Women
He's like,
do that.
I've never seen
Women
anyone.
do it all the time because they know no one's gonna
I
fuck
can't
with them.
imagine
So like, man,
going
I
like
see it
this
all the
to
time.
someone.
I saw it yesterday.
Really?
To me,
yeah, I've never flipped. I'm actually.
In
I've definitely
Independence?
like.
yeah, right off this exit over here. Actually, it was my fault. I pulled out in front of him. I didn't see him. I just pulled out in front of him. I was.
It seems like so much effort
I don't know.
to do that to someone.
What's the craziest car communication you've ever had? Like when your windows are passing,
All right,
or like
mine
someone
was-
like slowed down or sped up or whatever.
I'm driving. I just got off work, minding my own business. This is in Wyandotte, and this big old red Budweiser truck pulls out right in front of me. I almost rear end him. I have to swerve around him. I flipped him off. I was in a Ford Ranger, and it had like the window behind that you could slide open to the bed. I put my hand and arm out there, flipped him off that way, slammed on my brakes. That's right, I brake checked him.
What did he look like?
And then hold on, and then then there was a stoplight. I was like, oh shit! So I stopped, but that was it. I just swerved in front of him, flipped him off, like fuck you, you cut me off. And then we get in the stoplight, and all of a sudden this dude looked like Stone Cold Steve Austin, jumps out of
Oh
this
my
truck,
gosh.
starts walking to me like a
Was
fucking
this in
gorilla.
Independence?
No, Wyandotte.
Wyandotte.
You
Oh
said
my
that.
God.
Which is, yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? So I get out of my truck and I start my strut towards him going, and I'm about to say, you fucking cut me off. But before I could say that, he swings at me. No words, no nothing. He just throws a fucking haymaker at me. I ducked it, put my arms underneath his arms.
Hear about this?
No, I picked him up. I threw him on the car next to us.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, you picked up and threw.
It wasn't him. He looked like him.
I love that.
And I threw him up, picked him, threw him up to the car next to us. This little, I'll never forget her face, like a little black granny. She goes, no! As I put him on the side of her car. I put my left hand on his chest. I pull my right hand back. I'm about to punch him in the face. And then he cowers like a little bitch. He puts his hands up in front of his face. Please don't. I got kids. And I pulled back and I stopped. You lucky motherfucker. I was about to fuck you up. I go, you just cut me off. That's why I fucking flipped you off. Had to go around you. I go, you need to learn how to fucking drive. I go, get your fucking bitch ass back into the truck and get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Cause I got out the car fucking with you.
I love it.
I think you should start the podcast
with that
story.
Tom Beaver, Bravado.
And then get into all the bullshit art stuff.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a car communication like that, Tom?
No.
So that was my weirdest
Yeah.
I can't think
car
of anyone.
communication.
You didn't have like a weird car
But
thing?
do you know how crazy that is of me? Do you know how stupid that is of me to get out of the car
Yeah, you
and
could
go?
have got fucking shot.
I could have gotten shot.
Yeah, you could
I
have.
could have gotten shot.
yeah.
Instead of just
The granny could have shot you. You never know.
She could have. She would have been
could have
like,
been
get
like,
away.
motherfucker. Bitch, you're in a Wyandotte. Bah, bah, bah. This fucking Quindaro, bitch.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had anything like that happen to me.
I'm not even sure. You mean like leaning out the window and
Well,
like I'm not
I
sure.
got-
my,
I got some
my,
stories.
my car communication was
I'm a road
like love
rageaholic.
and
I
peace.
probably don't remember a lot of them.
Oh,
they
boy.
might be in my lost years.
I think that the best. It was probably one of the best things that ever like most human thing.
Brake checking. I'm all about the brake check.
I was driving and it was a bad day. I was crying and I was driving.
Oh, what was wrong?
Oh, I don't even want to get into it. But I was driving. It was in Topeka of all places. Don't ask. But I was driving
we
and
know
I was
Topeka, I think.
I was
There's a boy and she broke up. He broke up with
I
her.
was trying to like I was going there for work, and then I was like, I can't go. I'm just like, I was having a like moment. So I'm driving down a side road and I pause my car, and it's like one of those side roads where no one's using it. So I brake my car off to the side and I'm crying. And then all of a sudden this car comes by, and it was this like he looked like, I don't know, he's a big like black football player type guy who rolls down the window, and he goes, "Are you okay?" And it was like this moment where I just was like, I was embarrassed at first because I was crying in the middle of the street and I felt so bad because I had like blocked his car. And then I'm like, no, I'm fine. And he's like, no, really, are you okay?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And then he goes, he just gives me this look and he sees me, and then he points to himself and he goes like prayer hands. And he's like, he mouths, "It's going to be okay." And I was like, and he drives off. And I was like, you know what? Those are those moments in your life to where, like, I can't tell you how many times I've been in a car and I've either been you're either listening to music, you're angry, you're talking to yourself, or like that day was not a good day. And it was probably one of those acts of kindness to where I was like, everyone sucks in this world.
Yeah.
And he stayed until he knew that I was like going to be okay.
And you not
And we couldn't even hear each other.
At any point during this, did you feel threatened or uncomfortable?
Not
at any
not
point?
one freaking moment.
Well, that is amazing.
Not one freaking moment. And I was at my most vulnerable, and it was just this simple exchange of, I see you. And he saw me through a car window, and he could have slammed his freaking horn and been like, what is this woman doing in the middle of the street? Like,
get out the
stop
way,
car.
bitch!
Totally. And he
I was
did.
gonna say, when he left, did you go, I'm gonna kill myself?
Honestly, sadly enough, you know, you have those moments where you're like, oh, I mean, sadly enough, those are those moments where, like, I just wish, like, if I knew that person's name, I would be like, thank you, because it was a bad day, you know? Those are those days. So, yeah.
Well, this was a good day. Tom, I thank you for doing the podcast.
Yeah, I feel like people are gonna fall asleep.
Seraphine.
Oh, we'll have to
Thanks
edit this
for-
one. We'll have to edit this one.
Was this a good
I
one?
don't edit shit.
He's like, I won't ever edit
No, it takes too much work.
it. Tom goes up.
So, Seraphine, thank
All
you
right.
for taking over. How would you like people to kind of, if you have anything to promote or follow or anything like that, if there's anything you'd like to say?
No, this is all about promoting my friend.
Okay, Tom, what have you got to say?
I'm just trying to get more movies made. I got a million ideas. If anybody wants to,
What do you need? What do you need? Do you need, other than money, what would you like? What do you need? Actors, writers,
money.
people with cameras.
it's really just money.
Yeah.
All that other stuff comes running when you have the money.
Yeah.
Listen, baby, we
You
all
know
need
that.
money.
You know that.
Music. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Well, get that local.
That you don't have to
music.
pay $1 million rights for.
Yeah, get that. Find some local music you're into and reach out to them.
Yeah, I've been looking for people who do original scores. Yeah, because I ran into some music rights issues with Bravado.
Maybe jazz musicians too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, Seraphine, this was a pleasure.
Okay. I thought we were going to go another 3 hours.
No, we're gonna cut this off. We'll keep going, but we're done recording because now it's gonna get real interesting.
Crazy.
Everybody, thanks for listening. I am Ryan Wested. This was Neandertalk Podcast. I love you all.
When you should start taping.
Bye.
Leave me the fuck alone. Neandertalk, hardest podcast in the world, you stupid ass bitch.